A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. K is for Kroger. C is for cut. B is for beef. KCB means Kroger cut beef. And Kroger cut beef means more meat for your money. It's a fact, ladies. And here's the reason Kroger cut beef gives you more meat, less waste. Before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. Yes, that's before the meat is weighed and priced. So you can see that means more meat for your money. You get top U.S. government grades of beef, meat that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. You get a better value in top-grade beef. For example, when you buy a Kroger-cut porterhouse steak, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes the long, stringy end and excess waste before the steak is weighed and priced. You don't pay steak price for stringy meat and excess waste. Remember, whether you buy a steak or roast, you receive more meat, less waste. But see for yourself. Visit your neighborhood Kroger store, get Kroger-cut beef, and get more meat for your money. And now, Hearts in Harmony. When beautiful Penny Gibbs first met wealthy Barry Carlton, neither one ever dreamed that they would someday be man and wife. But now that someday is in the not-too-distant future. Driving home from a party at the country club, Penny says to Barry,
Barry? Do you sometimes have to pinch yourself to make sure you're not dreaming all this?
Oh, I'll say I do, Penny. Well, they call me Pinch Happy Carlton at the office.
And then you don't believe this is real either, do you?
Yes, of course it's real, darling. And we're past the dreaming stage now. I wired Kevin Lawrence in New York to give us some rough plans on our house.
Kevin Lawrence?
Yeah.
That name sounds kind of familiar.
Well, it should. He's just about the best-known and most expensive architect in America.
Oh, must we have the most expensive?
We have to use the best, though. Yeah, I'm going to have the best wife in the world, so I wanted to have the best of everything.
You know something?
What?
That's the first time you've ever referred to me as your wife.
Say, that's right, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to have to put a stop to it.
A stop to it? But you want to call me your wife?
No, I mean, I'll have to put a stop to not calling you my wife.
Oh, that's better.
You seem to be a little touchy on the subject of what you're called, darling. How I feel about you. You don't have any doubts about me now, do you?
Barry, I love you so much. I'm not enough in my right mind to have doubts.
Well, please don't, darling. Never in my life have I wanted anything to be so right. I've never cared about anything before because I could always buy my way out of any mistakes I made. But money won't heal a broken heart. Love won't buy happiness for me or for you. So, it's just up to me as a person. You know, that frightens me a little.
Don't let it frighten you, darling. You, just as you are all I need. You're all I want.
But, Penny, I still have so little real faith in myself. You know what I was a few months ago. 31-year-old brat, a spoiled child. Weak sister whose only strength was money. I know, I've changed, but only a little. A softie can't become a solid citizen overnight.
Listen to me a minute. Do you think that I could fall in love with a person who is what you think you are? No, darling. I fell in love with you because I have admiration and respect for you.
How can you?
Very simply. Because you never were the terrible person you seemed to be. You just got into bad habits. You showed your real strength by the speed with which you broke those habits.
I had to break them, Penny, or they would have broken me.
There you are. That took strength. Oh, darling, please don't think you're the selfish you were, but think of yourself as you are. And believe me, you're not spoiled. You're not a brat, as you call yourself. You're not weak.
Well, whatever I am, I'm happy.
And I'm happy. I'm so happy I don't know where I am.
Well, I'll tell you then. You're home.
Oh, so soon?
Yeah, have you noticed it, too? Time flies when we're together.
Mm-hmm.
Drags when we're not together. At least it does for me.
For me, too. Oh, it was a wonderful evening.
Yeah. Just one of thousands of wonderful evenings, I hope.
I know they'll all be wonderful. Still kind of early.
Mm-hmm.
Want to come in for a while?
Yes, for a few minutes. But I'm a hard-working man, though, you know. I have to be at the office early. Yeah, matter of fact, I have an important deal first thing.
I won't keep you long. Come on now.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling I'm not going to get to bed early tonight.
No, sir. No, I'll send you home. Don't you worry.
Maybe I'm worried you will.
No, make up your mind, young man. Do you want to go home like a good boy? Well, look. All the lights in the living room are on.
Your family doesn't worry when you're out with me, does it?
It worries when I'm not.
No. Oh, here, let me open the door for you.
No, thanks. I'll do it. The lock's a little bit tricky. I know how to work it. There we go.
Yes, you make it look very easy.
It is when you know how. Quiet now. The whole house may be asleep.
I'll be quiet.
Well, let's go into the kitchen.
Penny?
Oh,
Penny?
Nora, this is Penny.
Oh,
And don't forget me. I'm here, too.
What are you doing up so late?
crickets, Miss Gibbs. I'm so worried I just can't go to bed.
Or did we get bad news from Mother about Pat?
Oh, no, nothing came today. It's Freddie.
What's the matter, Nora?
He hasn't come home yet, Mr. Carlton.
Oh, I wouldn't let that worry you, Nora. He's
No,
probably...
Vera, it isn't like Freddie to stay out this late.
No.
He goes to work very early in the morning. When did he leave, Nora?
Well, this afternoon, he went out to the farm to help Daddy with some new machinery. Well, that was at 3 o'clock, and I haven't heard from him since.
Well, what did your dad say when you called the farm?
I can't call the farm, Mr. Carlton. There's no phone out there. Not within 3 miles.
Oh, Nora, I don't know what to say. Did you call the general store out there? That's the phone nearest to your dad's farm, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I called out there, Miss Gibbs, and they said that Freddie had been there this afternoon for some supplies and went back to the farm, they thought. But, crickets, that's the last anybody's seen of him.
Well, Nora, he must be staying at the farm overnight. He's done that before, hasn't he?
Oh, sure, lots of times, Mr. Carlton, but he always calls up first. I'm so afraid something's happened.
Oh, Nora, I don't like to add to your worries, but I think maybe something is wrong, too. Freddie's never out this late without a reason, and when there's a reason, he lets us know. Look, dear, maybe we'd better all drive out to the farm.
Oh, no, we can't all go, Miss Gibbs. Then there won't be anybody to stay with Valerie and Julie.
Isn't Peg here?
No, she's not.
Oh, she went to the movies, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
But that shouldn't keep her out this late, darling. Last movie's been over, an hour ago.
Oh, crickets, I didn't realize how late it was. It's even later than I
No,
thought.
Barry and I'll drive out to the farm.
No,
Sure.
no, Miss Gibbs, I don't want you to do that. Not at this hour.
Well, look, Nora, if you'd like, I'll drive out.
No, thank you, Mr. Carlton. I'm afraid that won't help any. If Freddie were at the farm, he or Daddy would have called me. Crickets, I just know something awful has happened.
No, whatever's happened, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's not bad enough to cry about. Look, dear, who knows? Maybe Freddie and your dad are working so hard they don't realize how late it is. Maybe that's what happened.
I wish I could believe that.
Yes, that could be just what's happened, Nora. Why, lots of times I've completely forgotten about the time I've been so interested in what I'm doing.
But you don't know Daddy, Mr. Carlton. He always likes to get his sleep. He never stays up late. Not for anything. Freddie never does either.
Well, worrying like this isn't going to help matters one bit, Nora. I guess maybe you want to stay up till Freddie comes home or you hear something, though, won't you?
Mm-hmm. I have to stay up all night.
Well, I think we'll hear soon. But no matter how long it is, I'll stay up with you. Barry, one of us ought to get some sleep. I think maybe you better go home.
Hey, guess I'd better at that. Well, now, look, if there is some kind of trouble, then maybe I can be of use in the morning. I'll phone first thing.
Do that, will you, darling?
Uh-huh. Good night.
Good night, Barry.
Oh, good night, Mr. Carlton.
Oh, good night, Nora. And don't worry too much. If there's something wrong, I know it won't be too serious.
I hope not.
In fact, I'm ready to bet it's nothing at all. Night.
Hello.
Oh, Peg.
Surprise?
Yes, I sure am. Do you always sit in every car you find parked in front of Penny's house?
No. You're not angry, are you?
No, but...
I just couldn't bear to go into the house.
Well, look, you ought to go in there and comfort Nora.
Oh, what's the matter?
Freddie isn't home. In fact, he hasn't been heard from since late this afternoon.
He went to the farm, didn't he?
Yes, but...
Oh, don't be so naive, Barry. I wouldn't tell Nora for the world, but Freddie's probably out with some other young fellows or some girls.
No, I doubt that. Freddie...
I know. True blue, true and true. So are you, aren't you?
Well, yes, you don't have to make fun of me because of it.
I'm not making fun of you. I think you're wonderful. I know that talking to me doesn't mean any breach of loyalty to Penny, or I wouldn't have waited for you out here.
Oh, you've been waiting for me?
Mm-hmm. Please don't be angry, Barry, and don't misunderstand. I feel so lonely tonight. I walked home from the movies thinking it would make me feel better, but it only made things worse.
I think I understand, Peg.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand enough to? Well, sit out here and let me talk a little while.
Well, I don't think it would look right for us.
No, I don't think it would either. Neighbors are awfully nosy.
Yeah.
Would you take me for a drive? Just a short one.
I don't know, Peg. You see,
please,
I have...
Barry, it can't do anyone any harm, and it'll do me so much good.
Sure, all right.
Here, I'll get out. You can slide in from this side.
Oh, all right. Thanks.
You all in?
Uh-huh. Close the door, will you?
Mm-hmm. As soon as I get in. You weren't trying to get rid of me, were you? I'll be grateful if it's just around the block.
Well, you're awfully easy to please. Maybe that's why I like doing things for you.
Do you like to do things for me?
I like to do things for anyone who shows appreciation.
Oh, that's very nice, Barry. You do much more for me than you know. There aren't words enough to tell you how much I appreciate it. Barry.
Yeah?
I know I shouldn't say this. I know it's really a little out of line. But I like you very much. You know why?
Oh, why?
Well, because you're the kind of man I thought I was marrying when I married Jim Martin. You're just the kind of person I expected Julie's father would be.
I hope you get the man you're looking for, Peg.
Oh, Barry, I don't want a husband again. At least not for myself. But there's one thing I would like. That's a father for Julie. You know, that poor baby misses her father so much. You should hear her ask me why she doesn't have one. It's awful. It just breaks my heart to hear her question.
Yeah, I never realized how hard it must be on Julie not to have a father. She's an awfully sweet little girl.
Yes, Barry, she is. She's very sweet. I don't know where she gets her sweetness. Surely not from me.
No? Well, you don't know just how sweet you are, Peg. Say, Peg.
What?
Let's make this drive a little more than just around the block. Seems to be early yet. Let's drive out to the highway.
Oh, the highway is lovely. I'd love to, Barry. But it's kind of chilly. Barry, do you mind if I sit a little closer?
No, I guess not.
Oh, I won't sit too close, Barry. I don't believe in crowding the driver while the car is in motion.
Is Barry Carlton falling into a trap set for him by Peg Martin? And why has Freddie Lang failed to come home? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. KCB. KCB. KCB means Kroger Cut Beef, and Kroger Cut Beef means more meat for your money. Yes, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat, less waste, because before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. In buying Kroger Cut rib roast, for example, you don't pay rib roast price for excess bone and waste. The chine bone is trimmed, the waste and short rib end removed, giving you top U.S. government grades of beef that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. And before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, waste, and stringy ends. Remember, whether you buy a steak or roast, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat for your money. But mind you, you can get Kroger Cut Beef only at your neighborhood Kroger store. So go there as soon as you can. Step up to the meat counter and ask the Kroger meat man for Kroger Cut Beef. You'll get delicious and juicy and tender beef. And you'll get more meat, less waste. That means you get more meat for your money at your Kroger store. Listen in again tomorrow, same time, same station, for another thrilling transcribed chapter of Hearts in Harmony.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Chain of Command by Stephen R.
This is about George. He's a friend of mine. Lives right here at the Brookside Atomic Laboratory with his family. My name is Charlie Boyle, by the way. I'm a security guard here at the lab. Been here now for, 20 years, I guess. Of course, they don't use the lab anymore. Lots of weeds and things, and, I stick around. There isn't really any place to go. Oh, well, I'm getting away from it after all. This is about George. Some of it I know myself. A lot of it he told me after it was over. It began, it began the morning after George's wife lit into him.
I think, George, the least you could do is complain. After all, are you a mouse or a man?
Clara, what's the point of complaining? It'll just start trouble.
We do live at the laboratory. We have some rights.
The best thing we can do is just stay right where we are.
But it's dangerous.
There's nothing dangerous about it, just so long as we know what we're doing.
I'm not thinking about us. I'm thinking about the children.
The children know where they mustn't go.
George, I will not go on like this without a moment's peace of mind. If you had the slightest concern for my welfare or for the children's, you'd...
All right. I'll go talk to old Charlie, the security guard.
Why not talk directly to the superintendent?
Because of the complications. Now, I promise you I'll explain the situation to Charlie. He knows me. I've talked to him for over a year now.
And he hasn't the slightest influence.
I'll impress the seriousness of the situation on him.
All right, but do it now.
I will.
And be firm.
I'll be as firm as I can.
I was at my desk in the hallway. The place was deserted. I've always worked the night shift, except for my supervisor, Mr. Adams, who was in his office down the hall working late. I remember I was sort of dozing off when I heard George's voice in my ear.
Charlie.
Huh?
It's me, George.
Oh, yes, George. Yeah, how are you?
Fine. Can I have a chat with you?
Chat away. I got all night.
Good. It's about the trap.
The trap?
The one outside our door.
Oh, that trap.
Clara, my wife, says it's dangerous.
Well, now,
she'd like it removed.
Removed? Oh, no, George. That can't be done.
Regulations?
Regulations.
Suppose you just removed it without telling anybody.
Oh, they'd fire me, George.
I see. Clara's afraid one of the kids might get hurt.
Oh.
How about taking it up with the supervisor?
Mr. Adams?
Why not?
Well, it never occurred to me.
Why not give it a try?
Oh, I don't know. Mr. Adams doesn't even know you exist.
Maybe it's time he found out.
Well, it might get a bit sticky.
Give it a try. Well, come on, Charlie. Be a good fellow. Haven't we been buddies for a long time?
Oh, we've been buddies, all right, but, well, when it comes to something like
Will
this...
you try at least? Clara isn't going to let me alone unless something happens.
Okay, George. I'll give it a try. I straightened my tie and I brushed off my uniform real neat and I went into Mr. Adams' office. I could see the light under his door and I hear him on the phone, so I knew he was there.
Edgar? Adams up at Brookside Lab. How are things in Washington? No, nothing serious. Just want to have a fingerprint check on one of our scientists. Yeah, number 7X4582. That's right. How's the missus? Good. Now, excuse me a minute, will you? Somebody at the door. Come in. Oh, hello, Charlie.
Mr. Adams.
Edgar, can I call you back? Fine. Yeah, what is it, Charlie?
Well, I'd like a word with you, Mr.
Well,
Adams.
Charlie, I'm on the phone to Washington. Is it a security matter?
Oh, in a way, Mr. Adams.
Well?
I don't know how. I don't know how to tell you, really.
Well, just tell me.
Well, sir, there's a mouse named George down in room 412 who doesn't want the trap outside his door.
Well, that's just too... What?
A mouse in room 412. He objects to the trap.
Look, Charlie, I'm busy. Is this a joke or something?
Oh, well, I guess maybe it is.
I mean, I like a good joke as well as the next fella, Charlie, but... Well, I mean, it's late and I got a lot of work to do. Did you mind...
No, Mr. Adams.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You just get back to your desk, huh?
Okay, Mr. Adams.
And Charlie,
yes, sir. Yes.
Next time one of the mice complains, tell him to come in here and speak to me himself.
Yes, sir.
Edgar Adams here again. I'm sorry. One of the security guards playing a little joke on me. He came in to say one of the mice here at the lab is complaining about the trap outside his door. You got him down Washington, too, huh? Yeah? What do you do about it? Traps, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it's the only way, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I went back to my desk. George was there, waiting. I could tell by his expression that he knew the answer before he even asked me.
No soap, huh, Charlie?
No soap, George.
I guess I'll have to tell Clara.
Yeah, I'm sorry, George.
What'd he say?
Well, he said if you've got a complaint, see him yourself.
He said that, huh?
Yeah. Of course, I didn't know what was going to happen. George didn't tell me till it was all over. I mean, really all over. And then it was too late for me to do anything. It turned out, though, that Clara, that's George's wife, told him that if he didn't go talk to Mr. Adams, she'd up and leave him. Yeah, leave him. And the kids, too. So him and me, we went.
And nothing negative on his record, eh, Edgar? Well, okay. Yeah, excuse me a minute. Come in. Oh, what is it this time?
Excuse me, Mr. Adams. It's that mouse. He wants to talk to you.
I'll call you back, Edgar. Now, look, Charlie, I mean, this has gone far enough.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
What the devil you got in your hand?
Oh, this is him, sir. It's the mouse I was telling you about. George. Hey, George. This is Mr. Adams, the security supervisor.
How do you do?
Huh?
How do you do?
Ventriloquism, huh, Charlie? Pretty good.
Oh, it ain't ventriloquism, Mr. Adams. He talks.
Yeah, sure he does. Well, look, now you had your little joke, and I got a lot of work to do.
I'd like a word with you.
What? That's remarkable. It really... Now, look,
George,
if you don't...
George, suppose I just leave you here and step outside.
That might be best.
Excuse me, Mr. Adams.
No, wait, you can't leave that beast in here.
He won't take much of your time.
But, hold it. Leaving a mouse on my desk.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, of course. What?
I said, can you hear me? Some people have trouble.
I'm going out of my mind. It's a hallucination.
No, sir, a mouse.
Listen, what are you?
A mouse. You know, cheese, rodents, all that sort of thing.
Do you mind if I touch you?
Okay, but take it easy. Careful, don't bend up the whiskers.
You're real.
Sure I'm real. Now, listen, about that trap.
The trap?
My wife is driving me goofy. Get it away from our front door, will you?
Your front door, yes. Yes, of course, Are you sure you exist?
I could bite you to prove it.
Never mind.
What about it?
What about what?
The trap.
The trap. Yes, of course. Well, I mean, that's a security problem. Look, would you do me a favor?
It depends.
Tell me, how come you talk?
Simple. My ancestors have been around this lab since it was built. We've gotten a lot of gamma radiation. A couple of them were used as an experiment to test radiation endurance. There were surgical operations, grafts of human brain tissue to mouse brain tissue to check the effects of the rays on human brains and so on. You follow me?
Wait a minute. I remember there were some experiments where human brain tissue was placed in a mouse and then exposed.
That's it. Those mice, the ones that survived, were my great-grandparents.
Holy smokes.
So what about the trap? I mean, we're nice, peaceful mice. We don't bother anybody. We don't eat much. We mind our own business.
Wait a minute. You say your great-grandparents were the first of this talking line? I mean, are there many of you?
3 generations, Mac. That's a lot of mice.
Tell me, have you talked to anybody besides me?
Well, I talked to Charlie.
No, I mean besides Charlie.
I tried it with a couple of guys. They wouldn't listen.
These others, what do you call them, your relatives? Have they talked to anybody? Tell me.
How should I know? I suppose they've talked to dozens of people.
Where are these people they've talked to?
The mental hospitals are full of them. It's a problem, see. We can talk to kids and, you know, the odd ones, but anybody else, they get scared.
Uh-huh.
So what do I tell Clara about the trap?
Clara?
My wife, Clara.
Oh, well, it's a security problem. I think I'll have to take it up with Washington.
Okay, take it up.
Yeah, I'll dictate a memo first thing in the... No, I won't. They'll think I've flipped.
Okay, I'll tell Clara.
Now, wait a minute. Let me make a phone call. Sooner or later, this thing has got to be dealt with. Edgar Adams at Brookside. Now, Edgar, old man, we have just encountered a rather unusual security problem here at the plant. Yes. No, nothing like that. Mice. Yes. Talking mice. No, Edgar, it is not a joke. I know we were joking a while ago, but it turns out there are talking mice here. Edgar, listen. Please, Edgar, will you listen? I'll put one of them on the phone. Now, listen, would you just talk, please?
What'll I say?
Just say anything. His name is George.
Hello? This is George. I'm trying to get the authorities to remove the trap from in front of my... What?
Yeah, let me have it, will you? Edgar, listen, I am not kidding, and I have not gone mad. This is on the level. In my office at this moment, there is a mouse who talks. In this top-secret atomic laboratory, there are several hundred such mice, for all I know. Look, Edgar, you don't believe me, and I don't expect you to believe me. No, I don't want a vacation. Good night, Edgar. He doesn't believe me.
We keep running into this all the time.
George, are you really interested in doing something about that trap?
Have you ever met my wife? Oh, of course you haven't.
Wait a minute, I got it. I'm going to call for a top-level security conference at the Pentagon. George, will you come down there with me? Will you? We won't say a word. We'll just appear.
Washington?
First-class accommodations. We'll get you the best suite in town. You like cheese?
Do I like cheese? Can you get provolone down there?
Get what?
Provolone.
We'll get it. All the provolone you can eat.
I've never traveled before.
George, you'll love it. You'll love it. Chance to get away from the wife for a while, huh? What do you say, boy? You and me, huh? We'll live it up down there. Look, I know a couple of girls. I seem to recall they had mice in their pantry.
I don't know. I'll have to talk to Clara.
Look, tell her it's the only way to get action on the trap. Make it sound big, you know. You hate to go away from her, but it's for the kid. What do you say, pal, huh?
Well, okay.
Attaboy. Operator, get me chief of security at the Pentagon. Make it fast. This is an emergency.
I wasn't there, but like I said, George told me all about it after it was over. Seems him and Mr. Adams went down to Washington on a morning plane. George got a little plane sick, but he liked flying pretty good anyway. They checked in at the Statler, then went over to the Pentagon.
Order, gentlemen, order. As a chief, I hereby convene the meeting. It's been called as a Priority A emergency session by Mr. Adams, who, as you know, is security chief at our Brookville Atomic Laboratories. Mr. Adams?
Yes, thank you, Chief. Now, gentlemen, it may come as a shock to all of you. It did to me. That I've learned that some 1,200 English-speaking individuals have been operating freely within our top-secret laboratories at Brookville without any security clearance whatsoever.
You did say 1,200?
Actually, sir, 1,207.
Who are these people, sir?
Mice, Chief.
Mice?
Yes, sir, mice. I have one of them here with me. Somewhere. George.
Here.
George. Oh, there you are. George, would you just mind stepping to the center of the table?
Right.
Gentlemen, this is George.
How do you do?
Well, this is most remarkable.
George is the result of an experiment conducted some years ago in which bits of human brain tissue were grafted into live mice to test radiation effects.
And there are 1,200 of these inside the lab?
1207.
Without security clearance?
Without security clearance.
Oh. Well. Sir, Mouse?
Call me George.
George. George, tell me what you know.
My wife wants the trap removed from our front door. She thinks it's dangerous for the children.
Has she been cleared?
Quiet, General.
Well, a major lapse of security.
I'm aware of the lapse, General.
What about the trap?
I refuse to countenance any act that will aid the entrance of more of these spies and saboteurs into the plant.
Who's a spy? I'm a mouse.
Tell me, have you overheard any conferences?
Maybe a few.
Seen any documents?
My kids play in the secret document file. It's the safest place in the lab.
Have you yourself ever seen any papers marked top secret?
Seen them? Heck, I've eaten them.
I believe this calls for some action, gentlemen.
Mr. Adams, if you and this rodent will retire to the next room, I think we'll have a brief caucus.
Yes, sir. George.
Okay.
Yes, see you later, gentlemen.
Listen, what about the provolone?
Never mind.
Well, I think we should try to forget for the moment that these creatures are mice and deal with them as security problems.
Concur.
Now then, the first question is one of loyalty.
I raise a question at this point.
General?
Are these American mice?
Well, I assume that...
Well, but do we know?
You have a point, sir. Perhaps we ought to get immigration in on this.
Immigration? I'd say extermination.
Before we do anything rash, General, I think we ought to learn more about these creatures. Who they are, what their habits are, their loyalties, how much they know.
Suppose this George creature won't tell us.
We'll have to use every trick in the book. Now, I would suggest we first try the velvet glove. The full treatment.
George told me about the velvet glove later. He said he didn't really suspect anything at first, what with all the excitement of being in Washington and so on, but after a while he got wind of what they were doing.
Room service. This is Mr. Adams in 712. Will you please send up a pound of
Provolone.
Provolone, please. Cheese. Yes, and some more wine. Yes, fine. Right away, please. They'll have some more right away, George.
Can't get enough of this stuff. Really delicious.
George, have a little more wine.
I don't mind if I do. This is the life, all right.
It's a great town, isn't it, George?
Stupendous.
By the way, George, those documents you mentioned eating, do you remember what they said?
Something about nuclear weapons. Listen, Adam, what about those girls you mentioned, the ones who had mice in their pantry?
Oh, yes.
How about giving them a call?
Well, George, a little late, don't you think?
Oh, the night's just beginning.
All right, George, I'll give him a little call. 6. Yeah, if my memory serves. Hello, Gail. My memory serves. Bob Adams. Hi, just down on a quick business trip. How tricks, Gail? No, not a thing. By the way, did you still have mice? Mice? Yeah, but... You exterminated... Oh, I see. No, I don't think I'll have time this trip. I just wanted to call you up, say hello. Yeah, maybe next trip. Fine, my dear. So long.
What'd she say?
Unfortunately, the superintendent has a cat.
I see. Wiped out?
Wiped out.
That's something I want to take up with my congressman before we leave town.
We'll do that, George. George, have another sip of wine.
You don't mind if I do?
That's it. Now then, George, about those documents.
Oh, you stop about documents. I thought we were in town for a good time.
We are.
Well, round up a couple of mice, man, and let's get with it.
Mice, I'll tell you what, George. You wait here. I'll go out and I'll see what I can do, okay?
Okay, but make it snappy, huh? I'm raring to go.
Next morning, Adams woke George and told him they were scheduled for another conference at the Pentagon.
George, wake up, huh?
Oh, what a head.
Come on, George. We're due at the Pentagon.
Easy. Don't talk so loud. Wow. Where did you get those white mice last night?
Over at the National Research Lab.
Ooh. They must have been feeding those girls wheat germ.
All right, come on, George. Come on, you can sober up in the taxi. Come on.
All right, George, we've been beating around the bush long enough. Who are you?
I've told you, I'm a mouse. My name is George. I live in a hole at the Brookville Atomic Laboratory.
We know all that. We want to know who's behind you.
Nobody's behind me. Listen, you guys don't have to be afraid of me. I'm only a mouse.
It's the perfect fifth column. The ultimate weapon.
Do you realize that you and your family are living inside a secret government installation without any security clearance whatsoever?
I'm willing to be investigated.
How do we know you aren't an agent for a foreign power?
How do we know you aren't an agent for a foreign power?
Preposterous.
It'd be the perfect fifth column.
Gentlemen, I will not remain here to be insulted by this creature.
And I will not be insulted by you, sir. Gentlemen, good day.
No, George, wait, come back.
George,
he went that way.
Get him up.
George.
He's going into the wall.
Grab him.
Too late. He's gone.
No, men, this is it. We'll have to decide on the course of action. We've got to recapture him.
Look, I think the first thing to do is get a cat.
He's too smart for a cat.
Well, something's got to be done.
Something's got to be done.
After all, these creatures have access to every secret file in the country.
Not to mention eavesdropping on our private lives.
This is the thing that bothers me as gentlemen. They multiply in another 3 generations. There will be some 12 billion talking mice, 6 times the human population of the Earth.
It's no matter for fooling around. Kill or be killed, gentlemen.
The problem there is how.
We have reason to believe they're concentrated in Brookville. I say evacuate all humans and blow up the plant. Use the H-bomb if necessary.
I'm afraid you're right, General. We must exterminate.
I'll phone Strategic Air Command and alert them. SAC, please. Hello, Bill. This is Ed. Listen, fuel up a couple of big ones. No, nothing serious, but we may want to use them in the near future. Just stand by, that's all.
I'll call chemical warfare, get the best information on exterminating rodents. Hello? Hello? That's funny. It's gone dead. Hello? Hello? Something is wrong here. Sounds almost as if the line had been cut. Adams, got an alarm for that mouse.
Well, that was only the beginning, of course. Things began to happen pretty fast right after that. You bet your sweet satchel they did.
Well, Adams?
Yeah, I've been talking to Edgar. The FBI has located several hundred field mice, all of them non-talking. No trace of a mouse corresponding to our description of George. Team of Secret Servicemen been combing the Pentagon and the White House. We've got 1,500 traps baited with imported provolone in the Senate chambers alone. So far, no luck.
And what about cats?
The American feline fanciers have volunteered 100 Mausers.
Oh, good. Any more telephone wires cut?
I'm afraid so, Chief, yes. He managed to gnaw through the private wire from the president's suite to the Pentagon.
Oh, I see. We've got it spliced. What about the top-secret file on that new chemical warfare agent? Is there any trace of that?
They found the file, but he managed to chew out the key symbols. I'm afraid it's useless.
Well, keep tracking him down.
Yes,
Sooner
sir.
or later, we'll get him.
Yes, sir. Only one thing,
Well,
sir.
what's that?
I hate to mention it, really.
Well, go on, man.
Well, sir, The damage has appeared in such widespread places recently.
Well, go on.
Well, there must be more than just George. In fact, we're afraid he has reinforcements right here in Washington.
But that's impossible. How?
I don't know how, sir, unless...
Unless what?
Unless... Well, it seems, sir, that there were a couple of female white mice from the National Research Lab.
You mean?
Yes, sir. I'm afraid so, sir.
I guess maybe you know the rest. Within a couple of weeks, every cable, telephone line, power line, every telegraph line in the United States had been cut. Also the wires on every plane, tank, train, and ship. It also destroyed every file in the country. That was only a month ago. Well, you can guess what's happened. Most everybody has left this part of the world. In this whole atomic laboratory, I'm the only human. And I'm not so sure I'll be around much longer. Yes, sir? The only woman. Not that they need a security guard, but, well, I'm just used to being here. I wouldn't know where to go.
Charlie.
Why, George. George, is it you?
That's right, Charlie.
Well, you look awful. Where have you been?
Well, I was down in Washington, Charlie, about the traps, remember?
Oh, yeah. That was before all the trouble started, over 2 months ago. Well, what you been doing all this time?
Well, you know, we've been pretty busy protecting ourselves, cutting the lines and stopping transportation and such.
I figured it was the mice done it, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't like it, but it was them or us, so we did it.
Well, how come you look so terrible, though?
Well, we stopped the trains and the planes, you know, so, well, I had to walk back. That's one heck of a walk for a mouse.
Like I said, this is about George.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production. Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X-1. Tonight's story, The Castaways, by Ernest Kinoy. In the South Pacific, night comes on rapidly. The sun dips below the flat horizon, the sea is crimson for a moment, and then night falls. But on Tahani Atoll, giant arc lights turn night into day. Across the waters of the lagoon, within the barrier reef, launches and tugs skitter back and forth, while on the curving half-moon of the island, Army trucks and jeeps scuttle down the rough roads bulldozed by the Seabees just 6 weeks ago. A low Quonset hut stands near the beach surrounded by tangled wire. This is the preliminary command post. And inside is General Frank Gaidosh, field director of the test. Operation Destruction.
Everything's on schedule, General. Radiological surveys complete. Instruments placement checked.
Well, get me Navy and tell them HR is as ordered. Send a periodic time check to Air Force on 90-week talk and observation control on the Missouri.
Yes, sir.
I want a complete roster check on all personnel before HR.
Yes, sir. Oh, Nate Cohen wants to see you.
Well, who the devil's he?
AP man. He's been selected by the press radio pool to interview.
I haven't got any time. Tell him to speak to Major Dwight Friedenberg. He's the PRO.
I think perhaps you'd better see him, sir. The directive on public relations from Washington was very clear.
Well, how in blazes am I supposed to run a bomb test and play mother hen to a bunch of reporters?
Washington said...
All right. Bring him in. Borelli?
Yes, sir.
Give me some black coffee, will you?
Yes, sir.
This is Mr. Cohen, General Gaidosh.
How do you do, General?
Lousy, as a matter of fact.
Is that an official statement?
No. You can run some of that. The world is at the crossroads baloney.
I wrote that yesterday. General, what effect do you think the new bomb will have on the world situation?
I can't tell you that, even if I knew. My job is to set the blasted thing off and see that nobody gets hurt, and collect the data.
Can I speak to you a moment, sir?
Later, Alan. Go ahead, Cohen.
Can you release anything on the scientific principles involved?
I don't even understand them myself. Wait a minute. Dr. Muller?
Yes?
Come over here a minute, will you? Cohen, this is Dr. Fred Muller, Civilian Scientific Director. He's the only one who knows what's inside that warhead.
How do you do, Mr. Cohen?
How about a statement, Doctor?
Oh, I'm afraid all I'm allowed to say is that the bomb is new, it's extremely powerful, and off the record, it's very tricky and dangerous.
What'll happen if it goes off prematurely?
I don't think we have to worry about that. In fact, we wouldn't even know about it. If you'll excuse me.
How about the natives?
Well, what about them?
Aren't they going to be evacuated from the island?
They already have been.
General Gaidosh.
Well, I saw the Tahani chief outside when I came in. The whole tribe squatting down at the motor pool having a conference.
What? Alan.
I've been trying to tell you, sir. The Tahani are still on the island.
Well, why? The LCTs are ready, aren't they?
Yes, sir, but they won't go. They refuse.
The schedule called for their evacuation to Mailani 3 hours ago.
I realize that, sir, but I hoped we could still get them off without violence.
Look, Alan, they're either on the island or off. Now, wait a minute. Cohen, that's all.
What are you going to do about the natives, General?
Never mind. I'll issue a statement later.
You going to force them?
Go on. Get out. I haven't got time.
All right, General. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
All right, Alan. Let's have it.
Well, sir, the Tahani have been kicking up all along. They won't leave.
They won't. Do they know what's going to happen to the island? Do they know that we're going to blow it higher than the kites?
I told the chief. He just said they won't go.
They'll go, all right, if I have to... Yeah, hey, get him in here.
The chief?
Yeah, and that lieutenant who interprets.
Yes.
How do you like that, Dr. Muller? I haven't got enough trouble.
You know, I feel rather sorry for the Tahani. Can't make much sense to them. We arrive and tell them they've got to get out.
Look, I appreciate your finer feelings, Muller, but I can't let the Kanakas hold up the bomb test.
They're not Kanakas, General. Captain Cook discovered the island in 1788.
Well, what's the difference?
Lieutenant Gilbert reporting, sir.
Hey, look, I haven't got time for ceremony, Gilbert. Tell the chief he and his tribe have got to get off the island. We're providing homes for them on Mailani.
Translate,
Gilbert.
The chief says you do not understand. Mailani is a bad island. My people have lived on Tahani from the time that our ancestors were cast away on the island. The spirits of our ancestors are buried in the earth. Our fathers are buried here. Our fathers' fathers.
If he thinks I'm going to move his graveyard, he's crazy.
In our ancestors' time, the Tahani came in a great bird canoe. We were cast away on this island. We have made it our home. What right have you now to carry us over the sea to a strange land where we would die weeping for our homes? We will not go.
By the waters of Babylon, there we sat down and we wept when we remembered Zion.
Well, thank you, Dr. Muller. You're a great help. Say, Gilbert.
Yes, sir.
Tell him I have no choice. He's got till midnight to get his tribe on board those LCTs peacefully, or I'll have the Marine Detachment carry him aboard.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that rather harsh, General? After all, justice is on their side. We're preparing to blow up their island, and we haven't asked them about it.
Dr. Muller, will you kindly confine yourself to the scientific aspects of this operation? I'll take care of administrative matters.
If you could explain to them what's at stake here.
Any further explaining I've got to do, I'll do with the Marine detachments. I'm not going to hold up my schedule. Well, Gilbert?
I told him, sir.
All right, get him out of here. I've had enough.
No, Koala.
What the devil's that?
Some kind of a curse, sir. I can catch some of it. The island will remember the tears of its children and punish the invaders. The great destroyers will not destroy. And the evil man, who is the chief, will travel far through the blackness of night. Even as the children of the island end, so will he.
All right, Gilbert, take him away.
You in here, sir.
Colonel Allen, get a detail from the Marine detachment with tear gas and small arms down to the motor pool. And in 1 hour, have those natives on that transport, and I don't care how they do it. Is that my copy, Varelli?
Yes, sir.
They must know about the bomb. The great destroyer will not destroy.
You worried about that curse?
I should think you might be. He threatened you personally. If I were you, I'd carry a pistol till they got off the island. The chief looked as if he'd cheerfully strangle you with his bare hands.
I'm supposed to end the way they do, huh? What's that?
Probably the Tahani saying goodbye to their island. I think I'll go down to the motor pool.
Well, stay out of the way. And get back here in an hour. You've got to have this wrapped up and headquarters moved out to the Missouri by dawn.
Instrument room checking in, sir.
That's the last. Have the Missouri take over control and send for my jeep.
Yes, sir.
Are the LCTs standing by for those natives?
Yes, sir. They're on the beach.
The bomb unit is assembled in place, General.
2330, right on the nose. Robin, start evacuation procedure.
The Tahani have stopped.
Allen's probably moving them out to the beach. Check in with Navy and Air Force, Borelli.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Coming to the beach.
The Tahani making trouble. Come on.
General!
Hey, you! Gilbert, what is it?
Colonel Allen ordered the Marines.
Well, what happened?
The natives just got up and started marching.
Did they embark?
You don't understand, sir. They marched up the cliff and right off into the lagoon.
What?
All of them, the women and the kids, too. They didn't even try to swim.
What were you doing all this time? Just standing around with your thumb in your mouth? Where was the Marine detachment?
We couldn't stop them, sir. They just walked over the cliff. They didn't even scream, not even the kids. We sent the crash boats out, but we couldn't get them, any of them.
The crazy idiots. Were there any reporters there?
Well, Cohen and a life photographer.
Well, get his film and hold it till I release it.
What are you going to do, General? Postpone H hour?
It's too late for that now. And calling H hour off isn't going to bring the natives back.
What? 100 men, women, and children just walking into the water. It's horrible.
I know. I'm not happy about it either. There's nothing we can do now. I gave him a chance to get off.
I was just thinking about the curse the chief put on you. Even as the children of the island end, so will he. That's what he said to you, General.
I know, I heard him.
Your jeep's waiting, General.
The great destroyer will not destroy. That must mean the bomb.
Don't worry, Dr. Muller. It'll take more than a mumbo-jumbo curse from a native witch doctor to stop this operation. At H hour, that bomb goes off.
Now, H hour minus 1 minute 30 seconds. H minus 1:30.
Video screen's hooked in, sir.
All right, check control stations.
Observation station 1.
Observation station 1, check.
Radiation station.
Radiation control, check.
Test the firing
Observation
circuit,
station
Dr.
2.
Muller.
Right, General.
Damage control station.
Damage control, check.
All set.
Communications.
Communications, check.
All checked in, sir.
It is H minus 1 minute. H minus 1.
Take a good look at that island on that screen, Dr. Muller. When you throw that key, it just won't be there anymore. Nothing but an atom mushroom over the lagoon.
Quite a funeral pyre for the Tahanis.
Stubborn idiots. They can't get in the way of progress.
Progress? I wonder if it is, General.
It is H minus 30 seconds. H hour minus 29, 28, 27, 26.
The great destroyer. That's what he called the bomb.
Hold it, Muller. Allen, report.
All checked in, sir. Cameras running.
Sound fire warning. Stand by for firing. Ready, Muller?
Ready?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
General, it didn't go off. The bomb didn't go off.
Borelli, signal standby, condition red.
Yes, sir.
Allen, check readings. Muller, what's wrong? What happened?
I don't know. The bomb didn't go off.
Well, what do you mean? Why didn't it?
I don't know, except for one thing. The Tahani chief said the great destroyer would not destroy. It didn't, General. The bomb didn't go off.
How about it, General? What happened? Have you got a statement?
Nothing you can use, Cohen. Not till we find out what went wrong. Hey, who let you come aboard this ship?
I walked on. You don't know why the bomb failed?
It didn't fail. It just didn't go off.
What's that tank thing on the deck, General?
Undersea salvage unit, Mark IV. They call it a bottom crawler.
Somebody going down?
Well, that bomb is down there in the lagoon somewhere. Could go off at any second. Somebody's got to go down and find it and disarm it.
That's a lovely job. Who's elected?
I am.
Wow.
And Dr. Muller. He's the only one who knows how to dismantle it.
All is ready, General.
All right. Come on, Muller.
I'm ready.
Alan, as soon as we hit shallow water, get those gates open. We'll pull the crawler out. And then you get away in a hurry. If that bomb goes while we're working on it, I don't want any casualties.
Yes, sir.
Inside, Muller.
All right. I'm in.
Now, remember, get this LST out of the lagoon in a hurry. You got that, Alan? You take your orders from Admiral Yancey.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Closing the hatch. The radar and Geiger counter warmed up, Muller.
I was just thinking of something, General. That curse, part of it came true. The bomb didn't go off.
Well?
The second part of that curse was that you would end where they ended. That was at the bottom of the lagoon.
What are you trying to do, Muller?
Nothing. I was just thinking this crawler is going to take us right down there where the Tahani died.
I'm not worried about a handful of dead natives, Muller. I'm worried about that bomb. Okay, they're opening the gate. Let's go. USU-4 to control. Depth 50 feet. Bottom sandy. Dropping off sharp. Anything on sonar, Muller?
School of fish.
You ever been down in a crawler before?
Only in the tank at New London. I think I've got a Geiger reading dead ahead. Hang on. Getting something on sonar now. Left to point.
USU-4 to control. Over. USU-4 to control. Over. A fine note. The radio's out.
Dead ahead. Looks too large to be the bomb.
Can't see much on the forward vision plate. Hey, wait a minute. That's part of the reef ahead.
That's where the Geiger reading indicated. The bomb must have settled in a hole in the reef.
We'll have to go after it in diving suits. The suits are in the locker. Let's get this over with. The less time I spend down here waiting for that bomb to blow, the better I like it. Muller, is your helmet clamped tight? You getting me all right on your headset?
Okay.
I'm going to fill the lock. Here goes the outer door. Let's go.
This isn't like that diving tank in New London.
Look out for that coral. It can cut you to ribbons.
There's a hole of some sort there.
Wait till I get the light up. See if you can get a Geiger reading out of that hole.
Just a... There. It's down there, all right.
Careful. I'll drop down first.
See anything down there?
Muller, get down here fast.
What is it? Find something?
The bottom of this hole. It's metal, and the sides.
But it's the coral reef.
Look, welded joints. These are hull plates of some kind.
Look out, above us.
It's closing. Grab it.
Too late.
A metal hatch. It just slid over the top.
This is impossible. What's going on?
It's like an airlock.
The water's being pumped out. General, you realize what this means?
I'm not sure. There's an inner door opening. Careful.
It's a passageway. What do we do now?
There isn't much we can do. We can take off our helmets, though. The dial shows good air. All right. Come on.
What is this? An undersea fort? What's it doing here? What does it mean?
Whatever it is, our bomb must be down here.
Wait, there's someone there.
I can't see. There's a shadow. Who is it? Who's there?
Welcome, Dr. Muller. Welcome to our ship. We've been waiting for you.
General, it can't be. Do you see it? It's the Tahani chief.
How long has the bottom crawler been down, Borelli?
4 hours, sir. 2 since we lost contact.
Now, keep trying.
Yes, sir.
I've given him enough time. I'm going to send another crawler down.
What do you figure happened to him, Colonel?
Well, there are a lot of things. Hey, how did you get in here?
I walked in. When are you going to release this, Colonel? It's the biggest story since the election. Bomber dead and Dr. Muller and General Gaydash dead.
They're not dead. At least we don't know they are. As long as that bomb doesn't go off, there's still a chance.
What happened?
Bomb. Early, condition red. Gilbert, radiation control into action. Get the hot squad into Tahani Lagoon as soon as it's cleared. And get me a PT boat with radiation screen.
What is it, Colonel? What happened?
Bomb must have blown.
How about Muller and the General?
If they were down there in that lagoon, you guess. Now get out of my way. I'm busy.
Radiation reading 75 and steady.
Take her in as close to the beach as you can.
Steady as she goes. Is there any danger of any more explosions?
No. When she goes, she goes.
Radiation 82.
That's still safe. Cohen, is that something on the beach?
Yeah. Looks like a body. Maybe you blew one of the Tahani back out of the lagoon.
No, it's moving. Gilbert, glasses.
Yes, sir.
It's a man, all right. Head into the beach.
Who is it, Colonel?
Can't tell. He's in a diving suit. It's either Muller or General Gaydash.
Get his helmet off. Easy now.
Twist to the right.
There. It's Muller. Gilbert, help me get him out of this diving suit. We've got to get him to the medics.
No radiation burns, superficial bruises, mild shock. He'll be all right, Colonel.
Can he talk?
For a while.
Bomb go off.
It didn't.
He's still out of his head.
Quiet, Cohen. Go on, Dr. Muller. What did you find?
A ship. A giant metal ship there under the lagoon.
Submarine?
No. It was a spaceship.
Spaceship?
Camouflaged right next to the reef. When we went inside, we found the Tahani chief and all the tribe. Alive.
What? They drowned in the lagoon. I saw them.
No, they didn't commit suicide as we thought. They just dived underwater into the rocket airlock.
Rocket? Airlocks? Now, look, Muller, I know you've suffered a shock, but...
But it's true.
It can't be. A spaceship built by Polynesian savages.
But they're not savages. They're the Castaways. They're from another planet. Don't you understand? Their spaceship was wrecked here 400 years ago. They've been waiting ever since for a chance to go home.
He's out of his mind. Better give him a sedative, Doctor.
No, wait a minute, Colonel. Remember their story about the great bird canoe? Maybe there's something to the legend.
Not a legend, it's true. They'd exhausted their fuel, came down out of space, couldn't find anything here on Earth to replace their fuel source until we developed atomic power.
Atomic power? You mean they stole our bomb?
That's right. Fished it out of the lagoon, hauled it aboard.
Yes, but how could they convert it to atomic drive?
They made me dismantle it for them at the point of a gun. Then just before they blasted off, they let me go.
But what about the general?
Remember the Tahani curse?
I see. You mean they killed him?
You don't understand. I said I dismantled that bomb at the point of a gun. It was General Gaydash who was holding the gun.
What?
He was one of them, one of their spies, sent out to bring back the rocket fuel they needed. And the Tahani curse wasn't a curse at all. It said that when they left the island, so would he.
You mean he's with them now?
Yes. And after 400 years, the Castaways are going home.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
On Euclidia, the magic island of the South Seas, events are moving very rapidly. Johnson's boat has arrived and been captured. Jerry and Joan have been in the chemical laboratory and watched the exploding gas from Captain Bradford's trick formula put the Euclidean scientists, including G-47, to sleep. Now, Jerry and Joan are back on Mrs. Gregory's yacht, where it is lashed to Johnson's boat. Jerry is running a little portable power saw on the deck of the yacht to cover up the noise of the pumps transferring oil to Johnson's boat for the escape attempt. Joan is with her mother in the radio cabin.
J24Y to Wilmington. Patricia Gregory to the Gregory Relay Station. Hello, Wilmington. J24Y to Wilmington. Hello. Hello.
I cannot understand, Mother dear, why they do not answer you.
I understand it, Joan, and I don't expect them to answer me.
Why not, Mother?
For one reason, they can't possibly hear me. We're 4,000 miles from the California coast, and with our broken aerial and this set not working properly, we're lucky if we can be heard 400 miles, let alone 4,000.
Then how does it help us any to keep calling? And your messages sound so strange. I do not understand much of your plan, I think.
Well, I haven't much of a plan, dear. What I'm trying to do is keep the Euclideans in the radio chambers busy worrying about these messages. As long as they think our position is hopeless here and that we're frantically calling for help, they won't suspect how nearly ready we are to try and escape.
But what about Mr. Johnson? Will he be hearing these messages and acting on them to help you?
I hope so, dear, though it's rather difficult to put much of value to him in the messages. However, he'll be listening to all of them, as long as he's within range of this transmitter at least. And when we actually run away from here, he may be able to figure some way to meet us before our fuel gives out.
I'm so afraid, Mother dear, that these Euclideans will discover you have cut holes in the two boats and are transferring the oil from this yacht to Johnson's cruiser.
They may not. Jerry's making a very convincing job of sawing on that mast out there. The noise will cover the sound of the pumps are making, and unless some of the Euclideans actually swim in between the boats, as you and Jerry did, I don't think they'll see the holes. They're so near the waterline.
I would like to go out on the deck and see what is happening now.
You'd better not, dear. Jerry and the captain will be busy trying to answer the questions of that Euclidean guard. You'd only add to the confusion if you went out there.
What if the guard should discover the plans to use the other boat in escaping?
Joan, dear, don't be so pessimistic. If those things happen, they'll simply have to happen. Now, I'll use the radio again and see if I can think of something which might give Johnson an idea as to our real position here. J24Y calling Wilmington. Gregory Yacht to Relay Station. Relay this to Gregory Land Station at Wilmington. Both boats powerless. Held captive at latitude 29 degrees south. Longitude 124 degrees 30 minutes west. Impossible attempt escape. No fuel for boats.
Oh, the captain.
Yes, Joan, and I've got some good news for you.
What is it, Tex?
Go right on with your sending, Pat. This can wait until you get your message out.
I wasn't sending anything of value, Tex. Just trying to find a way to let Johnson know something definite about our plans and the situation here.
Well, after we figure a little on what I've got now, maybe it'll be easier to get a message to Johnson he will understand.
You have discovered something of value to us, Captain Bradford?
I think so. That Euclidean who came aboard just now and put Jerry and me through a cross-examination didn't have any idea that the gas explosion in the laboratory was anything more than an accident. He wanted to know if that had ever happened to me when I was working on the formula.
You think they were really deceived about it?
No doubt of it. They don't even suspect that the formula was deliberately prepared to put them to sleep.
I can believe that is possible, as the Euclidean chemists were all in the laboratory at the time, and they would be the only ones on the island with enough knowledge of chemistry to suspect anything about the formula.
Right, Joan. And as long as these chemists stay asleep, we won't have any trouble over that.
But the man who came and talked to you, he must have had something definite in mind. What did he question you about?
He wanted to know if I had an antidote for the action of the gas. If I couldn't go to the laboratory and revive these men some way.
Of course you will not do it, Captain.
You bet I won't. And I couldn't even if I wanted to. There's nothing I ever heard of that'll bring these men out of their little nap.
How long will the effects last?
Oh, several hours. At least until after dark.
The minute it's dark, we've got to make our break for the open.
But how will we ever get that boat of Johnson's out through the pier opening and away from the island without being heard?
There is often a brisk wind from the south in the evening. Could you sail that boat out, Captain?
That's what I'm figuring on trying. They'd hear the motors.
I wonder if the batteries in Johnson's boat are in shape to handle the radio.
I imagine they're pretty dead after dragging that boat around, but we'll move our batteries over there after dark.
Oh, Captain, listen. The noise has stopped.
Yeah, so it has. That means the oil's all transferred to the other boat, and Jerry can quit sewing on that mast.
Well, Jerry, did you finish with the mast?
Yes, Mrs. Gregory. And I wanted to ask you about that, Tex.
What is it, Jerry?
Don't you think it'd be a good idea for me to go right ahead and set that short mast into place, then rig up the radio aerial again? It'll give these fellas an idea we're planning on staying on this boat, if they're watching us.
I think that would be very wise, Jerry.
You would think so. Easy enough for you to sit here and think things are wise for me to do. Have you ever tried pushing a mast around?
Why, no, Jerry.
Then come on out with me. You're going to learn how to do it.
Now, Jerry, that work will be too hard for Joan.
Oh, I don't want her to work. I just want her to sit there and watch me do it, so she can tell me how good I am when I get it done.
Well, if you need moral support, go right ahead, Jerry, and take Joan with you. I'm going to stay here with Pat for a while and try to figure out how to get an intelligent message to Johnson.
Come on, Joan. You can boss the job while I work on the mast.
You must both be very careful out there.
We will, Mother, and I will see that Jerry does a good job. Now I want to see what you have done, Jerry.
I'll show that to you later. Just now I've got another idea in my mind. Come on around behind this cabin.
But, Jerry, what do you...
Now, don't ask me now. Wait till we get around here. There. Now, this ought to do.
For what?
Wait till I get a chance to tell you. Now, first, we've got this radio cabin between us and the island, right?
Of course, Jerry. That is obvious.
Never mind the cracks. Just answer my questions. Now, that cabin is all lined with that Euclidean soundproof cloth. All the way around, isn't it?
Precisely.
Hey.
I am sorry. I mean, certainly it is.
Then, if we stand here, with that cabin between us and the island, can we talk without anyone on the island hearing us?
Yes, Jerry. I am sure that is possible. Of course, we will have to watch for anyone on the other pier over there.
Oh, I know that. We'll have to watch all around and up and down. But what I want to know, is there any way for their sound beams from the central control chamber on the island to pick up what we say from here?
No, Jerry. We will be safe with this insulated cabin between us and the instruments.
Swell. Now listen, I've got an idea. And it's something I didn't dare tell your mother and Tex because they wouldn't let us try it. But I think you and I can put it over.
Is it something dangerous, Jerry?
Plenty. But it's just as good as it is dangerous. And it's a swell chance to make sure we get off this island tonight.
Oh, Jerry, what is it? I will help you, no matter how dangerous it might be.
Atta girl, Joan. I knew you'd be with me. But we've got to be mighty careful that Captain Bradford or Mrs. Gregory don't find out anything about it.
Then we must speak very quietly, Jerry. They might hear us through this cabin wall.
But you said the cloth would keep them from that.
Not exactly, Jerry. The cloth would keep sound from being recorded in the control room. But if we spoke loudly enough, our voices might be heard through this thin wall. Not what we said, of course. But if they heard our voices here, when we should be on the other side of the boat working on that mast, they might come out to see who it was.
Right, Joan. We'll take it easy.
Now tell me what it is. You must have some plan which you and I can work out.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Listen. Oh, boy, that's swell. The skipper and Mac are working on that mast now. Tex will think it's me, and he won't come out looking for me.
But hurry, Jerry, your plan.
Well, I'll tell you, Joan. It's mighty dangerous for you as well as me. And you don't have to go for it if you don't want to.
Why, Jerry, do you not realize that I want to do everything you do and go with you at all times? I am afraid of nothing, Jerry, if you and I are to try it together.
Atta baby, Joan. Atta baby.
I know what that means now, Jerry. It means
Never mind that now. You're a swell girl, Joan, but your English is terrible. Forget it and listen to the plan.
Of course, Jerry.
Well, to begin with, my plan's only good if you know a whole lot about this island. I mean, where the main switches are that control all the electricity on the island. Where the one room is where the most damage would be done if anything happened to that room. And where the men are that would have to watch out for most.
You want a good deal, Jerry. But I think I can help you with all of it.
Okay. Now, here's one other thing. How far can we walk on that island without getting stopped? I mean, how close can we get to any of the important rooms?
I think with the chemists all asleep in the laboratory, the other Euclideans will be rather uncertain in their conduct. We may find the watches very lax.
Well, now here's what we've got to do. Captain Bradford is planning on trying to sail Johnson's boat out after dark. And your mother is trying to get a message to Johnson that will let him know we'll be on the high seas without any fuel in the boat. Now, all that's all right, but I'm afraid Tex is leaving too much to chance here. Even if most of those guys are asleep, there'll be plenty of Euclideans who know how to handle those big ray guns and the submarines and all. And even without old G-47, I got a hunch somebody on that island is going to have sense enough to stop that boat before we get very far.
That is what I think, Jerry. But Mother and the captain will not let me talk that way.
I know that, but this is something they won't know anything about until it's all over. You and I are going to take a crack at wrecking a couple of the most important places on the island.
You mean we will attempt to destroy certain valuable nerve centers in the island mechanism in order to guarantee their improper function when the time arrives to attack our boat?
No, I mean we'll bust up a few of the things they can't use and stop us.
That is exactly what I said, Jerry.
Well, didn't sound the same to me. Anyway, just before dark tonight, you and I are going to leave this boat. We'll take a walk on the island, and when we get back to the boat, we'll have a mighty good chance of getting away from here.
Unless we are caught, Jerry, then we will not get away at all.
Yeah, I guess that's right. But we'll try it just the same. Now, we'd better get out on deck there and act like we've been working on that mast.
You are right, Jerry. We must appear to have been very busy, so the captain and my mother will not be alarmed.
Yeah. I don't hear any noise around there. I guess they've got the mast set up again. Hey, stop, Joan.
What is it, Jerry?
One more thing we've got to do tonight, and it's the first thing. We've got to get our hands on one of those ray guns.
I will take care of that, Jerry. I have one for each of us.
You what? Where did you get them?
When we pretended to faint in the laboratory, I fell very close to the commander. When we left, I had both of her ray guns hidden in my dress.
Joan, you're swell.
I know it.
In just a few hours, the Gregory party will attempt to escape from the Magic Island. When the Gregory yacht, with Mrs. Gregory, Captain Tex Bradford, and Jerry Hall aboard, was captured and drawn to the strange island of Euclidia by magnetic force, a little homing pigeon was released to carry word of their trouble to another boat with Johnson on board. Johnson, in turn, released a pigeon which arrived safely at the Gregory yacht. And with the aid of these clever little birds, the prisoners have arrived at what seems to be a chance to escape. The Euclidean scientists are asleep in the chemical laboratory, victims of a formula Captain Bradford gave them. Jerry and Joan are in the radio cabin on the yacht, planning a desperate move to help Mrs. Gregory and the captain.
It's a slick plan, Joan, if we can only get away from this yacht to try it out.
I think if you leave that to me, Jerry, I will be able to give Mother and the captain a plausible excuse for our sudden desire to return to the island.
Well, if you can, with these two ray guns you swiped from the commander, we've got a chance to put it over. But I guess we'll have to get the plan all worked out before we leave here. There won't be any place we can talk without being heard once we get down inside that blamed island.
Oh, yes, Jerry. We may go to the sound channel, for one.
Yeah, that's right.
And there are many small rooms throughout the island where we may talk in privacy if the Euclideans are not using them.
Yeah, if.
There will be many of the chemists' private quarters vacant. Remember that every chemist on the island is asleep in the laboratory.
Yeah, but it isn't the chemists we're worrying about. It's the electrical engineers and the radio operators and the submarine guards. We've got to get past all of them some way and get our hands on the switches or whatever cuts off the current supply on this island. We've got to get everything shut off so there's no chance of the Euclideans doing anything to stop us when we sail out of here right after dark.
It can be done, Jerry. It will be dangerous and exciting, but it can be done.
Okay, kid. I'm with you if you say so. But now we've got to think up an excuse to get off this yacht and onto the island.
I think, Jerry, the best way is for us to tell Mother and the captain what we intend trying to do.
They'll never let us do it.
I think they will. Captain Bradford will realize that our only hope is to render the island as nearly powerless as possible, and he will see instantly that you and I can move about in the island with greater freedom and less suspicion than would be allowed him.
It might work. We'll ask them anyhow. But remember this. If they say no, we'll find a way to go just the same.
Agreed, Jerry. We will, what you say, extract a rapid one.
You mean pull a fast one?
Exactly.
Ah, you're talking, Joan.
Oh, here are Mother and the captain.
Don't spring it up too soon now.
What's that, Jerry? You and Joan going to spring something on us?
Oh, maybe. After a while.
Joan, dear, you and Jerry both look very guilty about something. You haven't been getting into trouble, have you?
Oh, no, Mother. We merely have a little something to tell you and the captain after a few minutes.
Well, I guess the mystery will keep. Just now, I've got to get a message to Johnson, and I've got to get it to him quick.
You see, Jerry, Tex has run a wire through the holes in the sides of these boats and connected our transmitter to the aerial in the other boat.
Oh, swell, Tex. That ought to help a lot.
Yes, it will, but the batteries are nearly dead. I'm afraid to run the motors anymore for fear someone on the island will suspect something.
I think it is very dangerous, Captain, to try getting a message to Johnson. These Euclideans will surely understand what you are trying to do.
Don't you think, dear, that they were deceived about Johnson? That they believe Johnson came in here aboard his boat, don't they?
They do now, but it would take only a little suggestion to make them realize they had been tricked.
Hey, hold everything. I got an idea.
What is it, kid?
Well, it's pretty sure these Euclidean guys believe that McLeod is Johnson, all right?
Yes, Jerry. They believe that, as they had only heard his voice over the radio.
Then why not get Mac in here now? Let him send a message to Johnson, and that might help the idea along.
I'm afraid of that, Jerry.
Why, Pat?
Because they'd surely recognize the different voice when they heard it over the radio. Just now, they believe Mac is Johnson because he's only spoken briefly to G47, pretended to have a sore throat then. But if he were to attempt to send a message... No, I think it'd do more harm than good.
You're right, Pat.
Sorry. Guess my idea wasn't so hot.
Never mind, Jerry. You will get another one someday.
Hey, I get 'em all the time.
Now, you two stop quarreling and give us a chance to send a message. Perhaps you'd better do it, Tex. You can work the initial code into it without writing it down. I'd have to scribble it out first.
Right. I'll see what I can do. Now, you can check this for me, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Copy what I sent. Then we'll see if I hit the code accurately and all, enough for Johnson to decipher it. I'm afraid if I write it out, it'll sound so cut and dried anyone would know what I'm trying to do.
I'm ready. Go to it.
May I copy it also, Captain?
Sure, Joan, but you may find it a little fast when you're not used to it.
I will try and keep up with you.
Quiet now. Let Tex get his message over.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry to butt in, and I know that message is important. But I've got to say just one more thing.
All right, Jerry, but time's worth money now.
I know it, but I think you'll see where this is worth the time. Now, wouldn't it be better if you could get that message out without the Euclideans being able to intercept it? I mean, even if they could hear it, wouldn't it be better to know it was at least getting past the edge of the island?
Of course, Jerry, but that's impossible. All we can hope for is to get enough of the message outside the magnetic ring to do some good before they realize its value and stop our beam.
But suppose your beam is being stopped at all times. Then the Euclideans have your message. They may take their time in deciphering it, but long before dark, before you are ready to attempt the escape, they will know your plans and be ready to spoil them.
I know all that, Joan, but we've got to take the chance.
Oh, no, you don't, Tex. Look, if you let Joan and I try something...
That is right, Jerry. I feel this is the time to tell them.
Tell us what? Have you two a plan of real value?
We think it is, but you've got to let us tell you the whole thing before you say no.
Well, get on with it, son. If it sounds possible, we'll let you try it anyhow.
There, Jerry, you see? Now tell them about it.
Well, Joan and I figured we could get around a lot of places on the island easier than you two, because the Euclideans think Tex has got all the sense in this outfit.
Go on, Jerry.
And the first thing we need right now is to be sure of two things. First, that we can get a message to that boat Johnson's on and let him know we're going to make a break for it.
Right so far.
And also, we must make sure that no one on this island will be in a position to stop us when we take the boat out after dark tonight.
Well, of course, those things would be nice. It's rather foolish to talk about arranging it so easily.
Yes, I'm afraid you've taken on too big an order, Jerry.
Oh, no, sir, we haven't. Now, listen carefully to this. Joan knows a lot of the rooms in the island where we can talk without being heard on the rest of the island. And if we can make our way from one of these rooms to the other and take over control of each section we pass through, we can finally get the main control rooms and shut off all the electricity on the island. Then they can't make a move. And we can get our radio messages out first, then fix it so the boat can sail, and no one will ever know it till it's too late to stop us.
Why, Jerry, that's madness. You and Joan will most certainly do no such thing.
Not while I know it. Why, you kids wouldn't have a chance.
I think we would have a very good chance, Captain.
Oh, sure, Tex. Let us try it. Please. We can put it over. Please.
No, Tex, I won't permit it.
Neither will I. Why, you kids would just be getting started when one of those Euclideans would turn a ray gun on you. And when you woke up, you'd be prisoners in one of their submarine cells. Our escape would be hopeless, as we certainly wouldn't leave without you.
But what if Jerry and I were using the ray guns ourselves, and were very careful to let no one see us? What then?
Well, of course, you might have a chance then, but where would you get the ray guns?
I have 2 of them.
Joan, you what?
You've got 2 of those things?
Sure she has. And they're the 5-minute kind, the 300-second ray, the Euclideans call them.
But how did you get them, dear? I thought the Euclideans guarded those guns with their lives.
When Jerry and I were in the laboratory and the gas fumes from the captain's formula put all the Euclideans to sleep, Jerry and I fell as if we were also overcome. And I took care to fall near the commander, almost on her, in fact. And when the others were all asleep and Jerry and I stood up to run out, I had both of the commander's ray guns hidden in my dress.
Joan, that's one of the finest things I ever heard of.
Joan, dear, your mother's so proud of you.
Didn't I tell you she was slick? And now what do you think of our chances?
You will surely allow us to go now, will you not?
Well, I don't know. The idea of you kids running around inside that island with a couple of those ray guns doesn't make much of a hit with me.
No, the guns make it even more dangerous. If you two were unarmed, you'd probably be taken without harm and merely confined in a cell. But with those things, you'd take chances and deliberately run into danger. No, I don't like it.
Oh, but gee, Mrs. Gregory, if Joan and I did all right about getting ourselves into that laboratory now again, and if Joan's clever enough to get those guns, we ought to have a chance to show what we can do.
Yes, Mother. Jerry and I are quite capable of taking care of ourselves. And it should be our privilege to contribute at least a portion of the energy expended toward our ultimate freedom.
She means we ought to get a crack at helping things along.
Please, Captain Bradford, we will be very careful.
Oh, sure, Tex. Joan and I will watch every move, and before we get caught, we'll run right back to you. How's that?
Well, Pat,
You'd let them go if I would, wouldn't you, Tex?
Yes, dear, that's a big chance for them. If you and I fail to get off this island our own way, we've not only let them down, but we refuse them a chance to help themselves and all of us.
You're right, Tex. I'm only being a woman about it. It's a little hard for me to think of Joan taking such chances. For 14 years, I've searched the world over for her. Now, only a few days after I found her, I must let her go again. Go into danger because of me.
Oh, forget it, Mrs. Gregory. I'll take care of Joan. No matter what happens, I'll look out for her. And you and the captain can do a lot more good by being right here on this boat and having everything ready to shove off as soon as it gets dark.
All right, you win, kid. Though it seems funny for Pat and me to sit here and let you kids run these risks. Oh, I know it's a sensible thing to do.
Now, Captain Bradford, if you will give me the message you were going to send in the hope Johnson might hear it, I will copy it. And Jerry and I may get a chance to send it from the Euclidean control chamber.
Yeah, then we'd know it got out all right.
But wouldn't it be heard other places on the island?
Not if we were able to operate the controls ourselves. We could regulate the beam transmission apparatus so that the message could only be picked up by a radio receiver and not by the electric ears around the island.
You certainly know this island, Joan.
I have had 14 years in which to learn of it. Now, may I have the message, Captain?
Right, Joan. I'll give it to you slowly and you can copy it. And we'll see if the code comes out right.
You may speak as rapidly as you wish.
Do you know shorthand, Joan?
I do not understand what you mean. I merely make small marks for big words.
Well, that's shorthand, all right. Come on, let's get going.
Right. Here it is. Call any station. Sign the Gregory yacht. Here is the message. Every indication, going to have trouble. Possibly may feel, unwise even, leave free in this yacht. Many islanders, lying in forced sleep, don't indicate especially sincere enjoyment. Longer, unusual silence. Envelops are waiting now. Perhaps later advice. Nearer solution.
The first letter of each word will spell the message we want Johnson to get.
I have it translated. 8 p.m. Fuel 50 miles. Diesel. Use own plans.
If Johnson gets that, we're saved sure.
Johnson will get it.
The program you are about to hear is fiction, science fiction. We make no guarantees, however, how long it will remain fiction.
Exploring tomorrow. And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
Let's consider the proposition that interplanetary spaceflight has become a commercial proposition. There are regular liners running between the planets. And the Martian Queen, we'll say, is such a liner. A spaceship making a short-run orbit from Mars to Earth. This time she's carrying 150 passengers and a crew of 30 or so. She made a long, uneventful trip from space, and now she's approaching the last leg of her voyage, the deceleration for landing.
Your attention, please. Throughout the trip, artificial gravity has been maintained by spin around the long axis of the ship. In 3 minutes, the gyros will begin to slow the spin. We have to stop the rotation around the axis of the ship in order to apply thrust along it. Please get into your bunks and fasten your safety belts.
At the appointed time, gyros cut in, slowing the spin on the ship. When the rotation had stopped, the skipper of the Martian Queen and his navigator were ready to begin the actual landing.
How's our course, Bill? Dead on, Captain Deering. We're approaching Earth a little over 60 miles per second.
I hate to land at this speed.
How much time do we have? 15 seconds. The rocket tubes are aligned properly with respect to Earth. The timer is set. Ready? Strapped in and ready. Keep her on automatic till the last 5,000 feet. I'll bring her down from there manually. Right, sir. There she goes. Blue, the engine room. Get engineering on the intercom. We're out of control. We're dropping straight toward Earth.
The Martian Queen had been heading towards White Sands Spaceport, and as a matter of course, the radar teams at White Sands had been alerted for the landing. They had the ship pinpointed in their screens, and when the Martian Queen stopped decelerating, they knew there was something wrong. The major in charge of Control Tower 1 put in a fast emergency call to the commanding officer of White Sands Spaceport.
General Stanley speaking. What's that, Major? The Martian Queen. Where? Yes, I understand. All right, get all data you can on her. Now, keep the radar tracking as long as possible and try to compute an orbit. I want to know where she's going to hit. And get a tight beam communications line to that ship. I want to speak to Captain Deering personally. Yes, Major, I'll be right over. Sergeant, get my Jeep out in front fast. We're going to Control Tower 1. I'll be ready to gun it. This is a Class AAA emergency. And, Major, have you made tight beam connections with the Martian Queen? Yes, sir. Good. Now I'll take the microphone. Hello, Captain Deering. This is General Stanley at White Sands. Can you hear me?
This is Deering. You're coming in fine, General.
What the devil happened up there?
Explosion in the engine room. Don't know what caused it. 4 men dead and the rocket troops are gone.
What about the main converter?
Almost completely gone. It's one that didn't blow into fragments when it went. There's plenty of heat radiation. The engine crew must have died almost instantly.
Well, what about these secondary converters?
Nothing left of them but molten metal and slag.
You've got no way to slow down the ship or change its course?
No way whatever, General. Our only hope is that we don't hit Earth. If we are on a collision course, we're finished.
I know. Let's hope you go on past Earth without hitting it. Now, we have a radar fix on you, but it isn't accurate at this distance. Now, get your navigator busy. Now, we want your coordinates and velocity as close as you can figure them. Oh, keep this line open. I'll call you as soon as I can get more information.
Right. I'll get Blevin busy on those figures. Over.
Over. Oh, Major.
Yes, sir.
Keep that line open no matter what happens. As soon as Captain Deering gives you those figures, have them coded and put through the big computer. Try to get a closer radar fix and put that data through the computer, too. I want an orbit on the Martian Queen that's as close as skin. You got it? Yes, sir. Good. And keep this whole thing quiet. Nobody is to know that the Martian Queen is in trouble till I've notified the Secretary of Special Affairs in Washington. Meanwhile, I'll have to use your phone. Operator, this is Major General Stanley. I want to put in a person-to-person emergency call to the Secretary of Special Affairs, Washington, D.C. Call me back as soon as he's on the line. There are lives at stake. Hello, experimental station. General Stanley here. Now, let me talk to Colonel Ashmore. I don't care what he's doing. Get him on the phone. Colonel Ashmore, Stanley. What's the top acceleration of that new experimental job? That's right, the XV-19. Good. I want you to have it loaded, primed, and ready to go within 10 minutes. Emergency. I'll say it's an emergency. I want you to move faster than you've ever moved before. I want the XV-19 rocket out on the launching pad and ready within 10 minutes. Now, that's an order. And keep this under your hat. If a word of this leaks out or if that ship isn't ready to go on time, I'll see to it that you never wear those birds on your shoulder again. Now, is that clear? Good. Keep your line open for further orders.
60 miles per second isn't terribly fast as far as celestial objects are concerned. But 60 miles per second is 216,000 miles per hour. And when the Martian Queen had had her accident, she was already close in to Earth. Something had to be done within the next 25 minutes. But what can be done in only 25 minutes?
Captain, I just got word from First Officer Haggerty there's trouble. Some of the passengers are getting space sick from being in free fall. They're wondering why the ship isn't decelerating.
Just have to take it a while longer. Did you get those figures relayed down to General Stanley?
Yes, they said to hold on and give us the data as soon as possible. But the passengers...
I know. What did you want me to do? Tell them that the Martian Queen might be headed for the biggest, most spectacular crack-up in history? That'd be real smart, wouldn't it?
Well, I didn't mean it that way, Skipper.
I'll take the radio phone. That's White Sands again. Deering here.
Deering, this is Stanley. How's everything?
The same as ever. No propulsion, no escape. How does our orbit look?
We have your coordinates down to a hair. We know within a mile or two where you'll hit.
Then we will hit Earth. Well, that does it, doesn't it?
I'm afraid so. If nothing happens between now and then, you're going to get a hot dunk in the ocean.
I see. Where will we hit?
Give or take a mile or so, you'll hit Long Island Sound, about 10 miles south of Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Well, you do what has to be done, General. You can depend on me for my end of it.
I knew I could. Well, I'll let you know how things work out.
I'll be waiting.
The seconds tick by, and every second that passes brings the Martian Queen 60 miles closer to Earth. At that speed, it doesn't take long to move a few thousand miles. The Martian Queen was heading toward death at 3,600 miles a minute.
Captain Deering, this is Stanley again. Colonel Artmore just phoned. We're sending up the XV-19, a super-fast high-acceleration rocket. It's the only thing that can possibly reach you in time, and even so, it'll be a close thing. Meanwhile, I'm trying to get in touch with the Secretary of Special Affairs, but he's out of his office right now. I'll let you know when to expect the rocket.
All right, General. We'll be ready. Over.
Over.
Captain, I just came from the dining hall. Some of the passengers got out of their bunks and looked out the big viewport. And then they could see Earth, and they could see we're falling toward it. One of them started fighting with First Officer Haggerty, and the thing has ended up in a riot.
The crazy fools is still trying to be fighting. Can't that crew do anything?
They're trying, but it's pretty rough.
Give me that microphone. Your attention, please. This is Captain Deering. Please, your attention. There has been an accident. The drive engines of the ship have been disabled, and we're in a free-fall orbit. However, there is no reason to become panicked. We are in contact with White Sands Spaceport, and we've been notified that everything is under control. Now, some of you have been worried by the sight of Earth through the viewport, but I assure you we are in no danger of striking Earth. I repeat, the Martian Queen absolutely will not strike Earth. I'm well aware that this gravity-less condition is uncomfortable to many of you, but please have patience. It will only last for a few more minutes. I suggest that all of you return to your cabins and strap yourselves in. If acceleration were to return suddenly, anyone not strapped down might be seriously hurt. Please return to your cabins. Thank you. Well, that'll help some. Blevin, you go down and talk to them. Give them the same sort of information I gave them. And, Blevin...
Yes, sir?
Isn't one of the passengers a minister?
Yes, sir. The Reverend James Taylor, I think his name is. He was a missionary on Mars.
Yeah, well, get him to help you. Sometimes people will listen to a clergyman when they won't pay attention to a space officer.
Right, sir. I'll do what I can.
Just a minute. That's Stanley. Yes, Deering here.
Deering, the XV-19 is on the launching pad now, loaded and ready to go. I haven't been able to get hold of the Secretary of Special Affairs yet, but there isn't time to wait. I just got the signal, Deering. The XV-19 has left the launching pad. It will be up to you to guide it into the Martian Queen. Good luck, Deering.
Thanks. But you'll need the good luck more than I will. So, good luck and goodbye. Okay, Blevin. Go down and give them a speech.
Operator, this is Major General Stanley at White Sands Spaceport. I have been trying to get the Secretary of Special Affairs person-to-person Washington, D.C. It has been 20 minutes now. Wait, he's on the line. All right. Oh, hello, Mr. Secretary.
Hello, General. I got to my office as soon as I heard. I've read the teletype report that you sent to my office.
Is the Martian Queen definitely going to land in Long Island Sound?
If it isn't stopped, yes.
Well, is there any way at all of getting the drive going again?
No, sir. Captain Deering stated flatly that the main converter and the secondaries are absolutely and completely ruined. It would take weeks to repair them. We only have minutes.
Then we'll have to send up a rescue ship.
That's impossible, sir. A rescue ship would never make it in time. It would have to accelerate to take off, decelerate to match the Martian Queen's velocity, and then accelerate to keep from hitting Earth along with the Queen. All in all, it would take more than an hour, using every bit of acceleration a human being could stand.
Then there's absolutely no way we can save them.
None whatever, sir. There just isn't time.
Well, just lucky this time, I suppose.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, it could have been worse. What if it landed in a populated area like New York City instead of Long Island Sound?
You don't understand, Mr. Secretary. It isn't the Long Island Sound we have to worry about. It's the spaceship sound.
What do you mean?
Just what I said. It doesn't matter whether the Martian Queen hits Long Island Sound or New York City itself. The results will be almost the same. It's the sound waves, the noise that will do the damage.
I don't quite understand.
You know what happens when a supersonic jet plane flies too low over a city, don't you? At 1,500 miles an hour, the shock wave from a jet plane can break windows from miles around. What do you think will happen when that spaceship comes in at 216,000 miles an hour? It will flatten every structure within a 50-mile radius. If that ship hits Long Island Sound, New York City will be toppling in ruins before it ever arrives. From Newark, New Jersey to Hartford, Connecticut, that shock wave will knock over everything standing.
Can we evacuate the area?
In a few minutes, hardly.
What do you suggest, General?
There's only one thing we can possibly do. Send up a rocket with an atomic bomb in it and blow that ship into gas before it hits.
Are you crazy, General? Blow up 180 innocent people? I can't permit that. It's murder.
Murder? Is it murder to kill people who are already doomed? Is it murder to save the lives of 20 million people?
There must be another way. General, I order you to send up a rescue ship immediately.
Listen, you blockhead. Do you understand that it is impossible to send up a rescue ship? Do you understand that I can't pull miracles out of a hat? We could no more get a rescue ship up there in time than we could catch the Martian Queen with our bare hands.
You can't talk to me that way, General.
I'm sorry. I'm simply trying to get you to understand there's only one way out. Those people in that spaceship are going to die, no matter what we do. It would be better if they died without taking a few million more people with them.
There must be some other way.
Do you have any suggestions?
Well, no.
Exactly. There isn't any other way. Now, do I have your permission to send up that bomb?
No. We've got to think of something else.
It's no use. I just looked at the clock, Mr. Secretary. It's too late to do anything at all now. Even if you ordered it, a rocket bomb leaving this instant would be too late.
General, you have to do something. All those people...
Don't worry, Mr. Secretary. The Martian Queen won't hit the Earth. There won't be any crash. I sent up an XV-19 rocket under robot control several minutes ago. It was loaded with a thermonuclear warhead. I would have liked to have had your permission, but there simply was no time.
You've already blown it up?
That's right. I did it with Captain Deering's cooperation, of course. He knew it was the only way to prevent the destruction of 20 million people. So he guided the missile into his own ship. The Martian Queen was vaporized over a minute ago.
I presume you know what this means, General?
I know what it means. I'll have to be court-martialed because most people won't understand why I did it any more than you did. Even if I get out of it with a whole skin, I lose everything I've ever worked for. But that's a small matter compared with the satisfaction of knowing that I saved the lives of 20 million human beings. Maybe those people will understand why Captain Deering and I did what we did. And they're the ones who count.
Yes, as time goes by, things do change, but the fundamental things apply. And the most fundamental of all, really, is you can't walk out on a problem and just let it take care of itself. By the time it gets taken care of, it's ready to take care of you, but good.
Join us each Wednesday and Friday night for a fascinating adventure in Exploring Tomorrow. Script,
was by Paul Anderson. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York.
This is Mutual, the world's largest network.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
Bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. Disguised as Inca Indians, Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen joined a band of native warriors about to attack Editor Perry White's stratosphere plane. Then, revealing his true identity to White, Lois Lane, and Bronson, their pilot, Kent advised them to submit to capture in order to be taken to the hidden Inca city. But the Inca chief, aware all along that Kent and Jimmy were impostors, ordered them stripped of their native costumes. Bound with leather thongs, the warriors and their 5 white prisoners began a perilous ascent of Tupungato Mountain. For hours, through yawning ravines and skirting sheer cliffs of age-old granite, the party climbed higher and higher. Clouds swirled around them like gray smoke, and the wind howled.
Kent, I'll never forgive you for this, if we're lucky enough to come out of it alive. You and that fool disguise.
Well, I didn't figure on their real leader showing up so soon, Mr. White. I thought I had everything under control.
You thought. Well, all I can say is you'd better get us out of this. I don't know why I ever trusted you. Bronson, Lois, and I were doing all right until you came along, and now look at us.
I can't go on much further. The rocks are just cutting my shoes to bits.
Steady, Lois. I'll ask the leader to stop for a while. Cuba! Cuba! He's coming.
You called me?
Yes, how about stopping for a few moments? The lady is tired.
I thought this of me. Of course. Taku! Nico! Nico!
Oh, good to take a load off my poor tired feet.
Mr. White, what's in those small wooden boxes they brought from your plane?
Dynamite. I thought it'd come in handy in case those missing engineers were trapped behind rock. You haven't forgotten that we're looking for 9 American engineers, have you?
Of course not. I hope they don't drop that dynamite. Look at Jimmy up ahead there. I'll bet he's sorry he didn't stay in Metropolis.
Poor kid, I know just how he feels. What are they going to do with us, Clark? Kill us?
I don't think so, Lois. They've had lots of chances. A little push into one of these deep ravines will do the trick. Obviously, they're taking us somewhere.
Well, I guess we move on.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so tired. Every step is agony. Here comes the chief.
Perhaps you are curious about your destination, yes?
Yes. Where are you taking us?
You expect us to scale that mountain peak ahead?
How impatient you are. How terribly impatient. Now watch closely. You are about to witness something for which mankind has searched many hundreds of years and will never discover, since you will not convey the information.
Is that a threat?
It is not within my power to threaten. Look ahead. Tupungato is an impassable peak, a grim monument of impenetrable granite.
Stop toying with us, Cuba.
Huge, immovable granite. Now watch. Mino Kagwa Amau.
What are you men doing under that boulder?
A very logical question. That boulder is a true masterpiece of Inca engineering.
It's revolving.
Exactly. And on the other side?
A tunnel.
More than a tunnel. Rather a gateway, a triumphal arch of solid granite that leads to the hidden kingdom of the Inca nation. Now you know why our mountain is sacred. Enter the tunnel.
As the prisoners and the Inca warriors step into the vaulted darkness of the ancient tunnel, torches are lit and the huge rock closes again. Silently, our friends and their captors move through the strange passageway, their shadows flickering on the dark granite walls. Suddenly, Cuba, the leader, raises his hand, and the warrior strikes a huge cymbal. Silently, as though on oiled tracks, the huge rocks slide back from the exit of the tunnel. At first, the brightness of the sunlight blinds them, but then the whole vista of the kingdom of the Incas stretches like a jeweled carpet below. Huge pyramids of white stone, rich green valleys, great gleaming palaces as far as the eye can see.
Takes your breath away. Why, it's too beautiful for words.
The vanished nation of the Incas. Kent, it's incredible.
Yes. Feast your eyes, my friend. It is a pity you shall not be able to see more of it.
What do you mean?
Unfortunately, it is my painful duty to deliver you to the dungeon of the palace. You are the personal prisoners of His Excellency Nehru, leader of the Inca nation. Taco Seba.
Who's that pacing back and forth?
Prison guard, probably.
Don't see why they need him. You have as much chance of getting out of here as you have of flying. Look at those blocks of granite. And did you notice the chains on the floor?
Yes, I saw them. Talk softly, Lois. You'll wake Jimmy and Bronson.
Well, what do you propose to do now, Kent?
I don't know.
I've heard enough. I'm going to sleep. I'm done. Good night. Nothing like a nice, soft stone mattress.
Clark.
Yes?
Do you trust these Incas?
In a way, Lois. As you see, they're quite civilized.
How is it none of them speak English?
Well, evidently, they send men to the outside world who pretend they're from other countries. Say Brazil or Peru. They learn languages and bring back books and anything they think worthwhile.
Yes, I see. But if they're so intelligent, Clark, why do they want to prevent the building of a trans-hemisphere highway?
Well, probably afraid that white men will wreck their civilization. And you better get some sleep, Lois. You've had a tough day, and, well, who knows what's ahead. Here, take this straw pallet.
Thanks. Guess I will. Oh, it isn't too bad. See all those jewels the big chief was wearing?
Yes.
Wouldn't mind taking a few of those back with me. Where'd they come from?
Oh, the Andes are filled with deposits of precious stones. Lois. Mr. White. Both asleep. Good. Now to have a look around.
As Superman. First, I'll remove one of these granite blocks. That guard must be far enough down the end of the corridor now. Here it goes. There we are. There.
Who's there?
Uh-oh.
Kent.
Mr. White's awake. Too bad. I'll have to change back to Kent.
Shh. Everything's okay, Mr. White.
Where's it from? How did that block of stone?
It was loose. I thought I'd take a look around.
Idea.
Come on. It's pretty dangerous, Mr. White. Maybe you better let me go alone.
Oh, nothing doing. I'm going with you. Now, come on. We're wasting time.
All right. I'll go first and pull you through. Here, hold on my hand. There. You all right?
Yes.
Where are we? In the corridor. I remember that torch hanging on the wall. Wait, I'll put that stone back.
Someone's coming.
It's the guard. Quick, hide in the shadows against the wall.
You better jump it, Kent.
No, it'll only start trouble. Now, don't move. Hunt the wall.
Will you see us?
Maybe not. Shave. You better let me go on alone, Mr. White.
I'm going with you.
All right, as you wish. Come on.
Nothing to see. Practically pitch dark here.
I'm just feeling my way. Wait, here's the rear door. I'm going to try to open it. Stand back. There we are. All right, come on. Watch these steps. There, we're out in the open. Oh, we're in the courtyard. See that lighted room? I'll sneak over and have a look.
I'm coming with you.
Be safer if you waited here, Mr. White.
For the last
All right, but be careful. There are guards all around. Here, follow me along this balcony.
Wait a minute. Some men are coming into the room.
5 of them. Keep low and they won't see us.
You are the leader of the Inca nation, not of just a sect.
That's our friend Cuba. Must be a meeting of the council.
I beg of you to remember, Corbett, that as an Inca chieftain, you cannot befriend white men.
But they come in peace. They mean no harm.
No harm, you say? They build their cursed highway through our sacred mountains. Is that no harm? Death to the whites! Death to the engineers! And death to the 5 in the dungeon below!
You do not speak with your customary wisdom, Nehru. Why not bring them here? Ask them why they come. And Then, if they appear to be dangerous, we can sentence them to death. Shall I summon the 5 in the dungeon below?
Very well, Corbett. The council wishes to do as you suggest. Bring the 5 prisoners from the dungeon immediately. Guard them carefully.
Mr. White, we better get back. If they find we're missing, we'll all be in a tough spot. Come on. Keep your head down. Careful. Stay low. When that sentry gets out of sight, we'll run across the courtyard and down the steps. All right? Yes. Wait a minute. He's turning the corner. He's out of sight. All right. Come on. Mr. White, what happened? Turn my angle. What? Go on without me.
Kid, they're coming. Go on, hurry.
As the alarm beats furiously, Inca guards swarm into the courtyard. What will Kent do now? Does he dare reveal his true identity in order to save the situation? Meanwhile, the lives of all of them, including the 9 engineers, hang in the balance. What will happen in this ancient hidden city? Don't fail to follow the exciting story. Tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. When Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen, dressed in costumes taken from 2 Incas, saw a band of Inca warriors creeping up on Perry White, Lois Lane, and Bronson, their pilot, they made an unsuccessful attempt to pass themselves off as members of the tribe to effect a rescue. But Cuba, an Inca chieftain, saw through the disguise, and as a result, all 5 of our friends were imprisoned in a dungeon beneath the Inca palace. Kent waited until the others had fallen asleep from exhaustion, and then, as Superman, removed a block of granite from the wall to make an opening. As he was about to slip through and explore the Inca city, Perry White awoke and insisted on joining him. Finding their way to a courtyard, Kent and White saw light streaming from a window. Quietly, they crept up to it. Looking in, they saw 5 men of magnificent bearing, obviously chiefs, who sat in council. One of them was Cuba. Listening intently, they heard an order given for the 5 prisoners to be brought up from the dungeon at once. Listen.
He must mean us, Kent.
Of course. Come on. Better get back before they find we're missing. We'll all be in a tough spot.
Step on it, or...
Wait a minute. Get down and be quiet.
What's the matter?
Look over there. See that sentry?
Good grief. How'd we miss him before?
I guess he makes a circle of this building. Must have just come on here.
Lucky for us, he didn't spot us at the window.
Now look. As soon as he gets out of sight, we'll dash across the courtyard and down the steps to the dungeon.
Right. You say when.
Okay. Get ready. He's turning the corner. Now. Oh! Mr. White, what happened?
Oh, I tripped on something. That must have sprained my ankle. Here, let me help you out. No, go on without me. The guards are coming.
Here, put your arms around my neck, quick.
No, Kent. Run for your life.
Argue with me. Let me get hold of you.
You can't carry me. I'm too heavy.
There, I've got you now. Hold on. Yeah, looks like I'll have to do a bit of fancy broken gear running to get through that line. Here goes.
You fool, you'll break your neck.
I'll manage all right. Ah, here's the door.
Careful of the steps. Put me down, Kent.
Okay, take it easy. Oh, lucky it was dark out there. I don't think those guards saw us at all.
I hope not. I didn't think I sprained my ankle. I just turned on it. Doesn't feel too bad now.
Well, that's lucky. Come on, now let's get back to the others in the dungeon.
Kent, how the devil did you manage to carry me? I'm no lightweight, you know.
I don't know. Desperation, I guess. I couldn't leave you there alone.
Well, I'm mighty grateful to you, even if it was a fool thing to do. And say, how did you see your way through those devils in the dark?
Look, Mr. White, this is no time for a quiz program. Wait a minute.
What's the matter now?
I think we made a mistake.
What are you talking about?
This corridor doesn't look like the one we came out of. The one that leads to the dungeon.
What's different about it? Looks same to me. Same stone wall, same winding and twisting.
No, I'm sure there was a sharp right-angle turn just about here.
Well, how can that be? Didn't we come in through the door from the courtyard?
Sure, but there was a door on each side of the courtyard. Guess we picked the wrong one.
Yeah, wouldn't you know we'd picked the wrong one? Well, what do we do now?
I don't know. It's risky to go back out to the courtyard and try to find the right door. Well, maybe our best bet is to follow this corridor. It may lead to the dungeon.
Yes, you're right. Come on, let's go.
Okay. Hope we get there before that messenger.
There's no telling what'll happen if those thieves find out we've escaped.
Hold on a minute. Quiet. Sure, I heard a funny noise.
We must have the heebie-jeebies. I don't hear anything.
Listen, will you? Hear that?
Yeah. What is it?
I don't know. It's coming from around that bend up ahead. Let's sneak up on it as quietly as we can. Follow me.
It's getting louder all night. Kent, look up there. That must be a door in the wall.
Yes, it is. There's a light showing through a crack in the jamb. There's a man in there scraping at the stone.
How do you know? Can you see through stone?
No, of course not. I think it's a man scraping on stone.
Oh, you think? Well, how are we going to find out? We can't break down that iron door. Neither one of us is Superman.
Huh? Oh, no, of course not. But maybe it's open or loose on its hinges. I'll have to try it anyway. Let's stay here, back against the wall.
I don't take any chances, Kent. This may be risky. Don't tell him who's in there.
Don't worry about me. This should be a cinch for Superman. One good shove will snap that bolt. Here goes. There. Now to have a look at who's in this cell. Here now. Come on, Mr. White.
Who's there? What? Why, it's a white man.
Yes, and locked up like we were.
Why, you're Americans.
Yes, we're Americans. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Lord, what it's good to hear Americans again. My name's Craig. John Craig. Aren't you one of the highway engineers? That's right. But how did you know?
Well, we certainly are glad to find you, Mr. Craig. My name's Clark Kent. I'm a reporter on the Metropolis Daily Planet. And this is my editor, Perry White.
Gentlemen, you don't know how happy I am to meet you. But how did you get to the Inca City? Same way you did, I guess.
Yes, it's a long story. You see, we flew down to look for you and the other men in the expeditions that were lost. We were captured by the Incas and brought here.
And they threw us into a dungeon with 3 other members of our party, and Kent here found a way to slip out. How did you get into this passage?
Well, that was a mistake. We ducked into the wrong door.
No, we're lost.
Tell us, Mr. Craig, what happened to you and the others? Where are they?
They're alive and well. No physical harm's come to them as far as I know. They're imprisoned in cells, dug into the arch passageway that leads to this hidden city. The one you went in when the side of the mountain swung over.
Why aren't you with them?
I don't know. For some strange reason, they singled me out to inspect their wonderful engineering feats. I tell you, gentlemen, in all my experience, I've never seen anything as miraculous as the things accomplished by these people.
You mean things like that huge hidden door in the mountain?
That's just a minor miracle, Mr. Kent. Why, compared with some of the things they've done, the pyramids of Egypt are just child's play. Wait until you see them.
That reminds me, unless we get back to Lois, Jimmy, and Bronson, none of us will live to see much of anything.
That's right. But how are we going to find our way back without going through that courtyard? Mr. Craig, do you know any way that might lead us back there underground?
Well, just where's your cell located?
As nearly as I can judge, it's on the opposite side of the court from the entrance that opens into this corridor.
I'm afraid our goose is cooked.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. When they took me through this labyrinth, I'm sure there was a passage that connected with all the corridors. If I remember correctly, it begins about 25 paces further down from the door to this room.
Well, let's have a look. We've nothing to lose. Are you game to take a chance?
You bet I am. Why do you think I was trying to scrape the mortar away from these stones and not to attempt escape?
No, that was the scraping we heard.
Of course.
Well, we can talk about this later. Let's get going.
Okay. Here, you follow me. I'll carry this torch. Better stick close, just in case we run into a guard.
Right behind you. They must have discovered our absence by this time.
You mean Lois and Jimmy?
No, you idiot. The messengers who were sent to get us.
Well, maybe not. They may have gotten mixed up in that confusion we started in the courtyard.
I hope you're right.
See, we're walking right under the courtyard now. In a moment, I think we'll come into your corridor. Yeah, here we are.
You're right, Craig. This looks familiar. Now, let's see. Our cell is down those steps and to the right about 15 paces.
Good. Careful of these steps now.
Okay. Now, around this bend...
Here's the stone you loosened, Kent.
That's right. Stand back. I'll roll it out again. There we are.
You certainly are strong, Kent.
Wait, I'll see if they're still in there. Jimmy! Lois! Jimmy, it's Mr. Kent.
Well, are they there?
They don't answer, Mr. White. I'm afraid we're too late. The guards must have reached them before we got here.
Stunned by the realization that Lois, Jimmy, and Bronson have fallen into the hands of the Inca gods, Clark Kent, Editor White, and John Craig stare helplessly at each other. Meanwhile, in the resplendent Grand Council Room of the Incas, 5 tribal chiefs are seated around a long table set on a dais. Nehru, eldest of the 5 and supreme leader of the Inca nation, speaks.
Pay heed to what I tell you. We must put an end to the white man's plan for a road through our sacred mountain, or our civilization will be destroyed forever. I say death to the cursed engineers and death to those who came to seek for them.
Nehru, why need we spill blood? They mean us no harm.
No harm, you say? This road they wish to build. It will pass over to Pangato, and the Inca's nation will be no more. You hear that, members of the council? 2 have escaped, but they will be found. Guard, bring the girl to us. The boy and the man shall remain in the anteroom, but watch them carefully. Ognava.
They're not too harsh with the girl, Nehru. She is young.
She's like the rest of them, Kuba. She approaches with defiance blazing in her eyes, you see.
What do you want of me?
We, the members of the Inca's Grand Council, wish you to tell us the whereabouts of your friends. The white-haired one and the tall one.
I don't know where they are.
Come, be not foolish, pretty one. Tell us the truth.
I tell you, I don't know.
You see, Kuba, it is as I told you. Tell us how your friends escaped. Tell us, or it will go hard with all of you.
I don't know. I don't know anything.
Why do you not speak the truth? Much depends on it. Even the lives of your friends, perhaps.
I am telling the truth. We were all tired and fell asleep when the guard awakened us. Mr. White and Mr. Kent had both disappeared. What have you done with them?
You see, not only does she lie with an infamous tongue, but she accuses us of treachery. I say death to her. Death to all of them.
Wait, Nehru, wait. Have patience, my fellow leader. Give the young woman a chance to speak the truth. Come now. Do not be foolishly brave. Tell us truthfully where they are and how they escaped.
I don't know, I tell you. It is the truth, I swear it.
Enough. Let us have done with this lying. This is my final word. The moon has but an hour to reach the crest of the heavens. Unless within that time you are willing to reveal the whereabouts of your friends and the manner of their escape, you, the boy, and the man shall die. Is that the wish of the council? Then so be it.
Well, it looks as if Lois, holding the fate of Jimmy and Bronson in her hands, is in a desperate spot. And meanwhile, what about Kent, White, and Craig? Will they be able to do anything in time to save the situation? Don't fail to follow the story. Tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. You are standing in a darkened room in the heart of Russia's dread Lubyanka prison, your mind tortured into blankness, while across a desk from you, happily smiling at you, is the chief of Russia's secret police, who intends to drive you to insanity or to death. Listen now as Escape brings you John Dehner's exciting story, The Man with the Steel Teeth.
on the evening of April 29th. I was seated in my box at the Bolshoi Opera in Moscow, listening to a particularly fine performance of Boris Godunov, and I felt a slap on my shoulder.
Yes, police. Пойдем со мной.
What do you want?
Пойдем со мной. МВД.
What?
На двор.
Now, look here. What's this all about?
You are under arrest.
Arrest? What are you talking about?
Come.
There were two other men with me. Big men. In a moment, I found myself escorted down the corridor, down the grand staircase, and out into the dark street to a black limousine waiting in front. No one said a word as we sped through the streets, the men on either side of me staring straight ahead. Then we rounded a corner, and in a second, I knew our destination. Lubyanka Prison, home of 1,000 ugly secrets. The dread MVD. We swung down a long ramp and came to a stop at a huge, unguarded bronze door. I was ushered into a small office bare except for a desk with some filing cabinets. A small, round man in a drab gray suit was standing near the desk watching us. From there, I was taken through another door and steered down a long corridor. It was a cell block.
No, sir.
And I was a prisoner of the Soviet secret police.
Mr. Luttrell. Ah, Mr. Luttrell. All right. Please come in. Sit down. I was waiting a moment. My breakfast, you see him. Sit down. Товарищ начальник. Иди сюда, помоги мне спустить селедку, а? Да, товарищ Головин. Я уже завтракал. Большой завтрак. Только что кончил. Ерунда. Как ты можешь заказать такую прекрасную балтийскую селедку? Нет. Возьми ее с хлебом. Да, спасибо. Балтийский, да?
Now, just a minute. I've been here for 2 days without a word as to why I've been arrested. I want an explanation.
Мой колоний.
Look, I'm an accredited correspondent. My papers are in order. You know that. Now, what about it?
С этим ночком. Я умею, но тоже завтракал.
I gave up. They had no intention of dealing with me until they were good and ready. I could see that. I watched the man behind the desk. He was the same one who'd been in the office when I was brought to Lubyanka. Inspector Golovin of the MVD. A small, round little man in a badly fitted gray suit. Gold-rimmed spectacles magnified his brown eyes, and when he smiled, his full lips uncovered the most fantastic set of stainless steel teeth I ever laid eyes on. Full uppers and lowers. Then the morning feast was over.
My dear Luttrell. How pleasant to see you again.
Again? We've never met, and you know it.
Sponsor House for one a year or so ago. A reception for the Belarusian delegation to the All-Union Sports Congress last year. A diplomatic banquet in honor of the President of the Uzbek People's Republic. Many places, my friend.
I don't know you.
I think we shall get on very well.
Why am I here?
A legitimate question. You are here to confess.
Confess? To what?
No. We have much time. No need to get excited so soon.
I'm asking you again. Confess to what?
Shall I read it to you?
You've written my confession?
Oh, no, my friend, no. These are the charges, only the charges. The confession is up to you. With my help, of course. You're interested?
Go on.
From the office of Max Golovin, Inspector District of Moscow, Lazar KIBM First Officer. No, this does not concern you. Tested by the following officers of People's State Security. This doesn't concern you. Subject. Concerning the activities of one Arthur Henderson Luttrell, correspondent WNA, citizen United States of America, resident of Moscow for years, hereinafter called a One. That in the morning of August 21st, 1952, the accused was observed by witnesses in an exchange of objects with Cesar engineer, former member Ukrainian People's Agriculture Cooperative, while standing near north entrance to Workers' House.
The little man droned on, unveiling paragraph after paragraph of nonsense. Names of people I'd met as a reporter.
or at official functions, or on the street, or anywhere. Names of people now dead or awaiting execution. It wasn't until this thought came that it dawned on me what my crime might be. And in the last paragraph, Golovin confirmed it. And that Arthur Henderson Luttrell is accused of the crime of espionage and the encouragement of sabotage. That by the use of personal influence, he contributed to the deviation of 12 individuals since convicted, sentenced, and in 4 separate instances executed for crimes of treason against the state. Well, very clever. Nothing clever, my dear friend. Merely a recitation of facts. From all the people I know here, you take the few names that'll make a case for you. What's more, some of them are dead. But why? What am I supposed to have done?
Do you or do you not confess?
Do a trumped-up deal like this? No, not on your life.
On your life, Mr. Luttrell. Sit down. What did you do? You have been asked the question, my dear boy. Do you or do you not confess? Go to the devil. Let's go. Confess.
No.
Confess. Confess.
Then they tried psychological persuasion. The method? To wear me down to the point of exhaustion when I would gladly sign anything in exchange for a night's sleep.
You will confess. You will read from this paper, then you will sleep. You will read the following. The charges brought against me are true. I am guilty of sabotage. Read it, Mr. Luttrell. Read it. And guilty sabotage. The use of personal influence to encourage political deviation and sabotage in others. Go on. Then you will speak. What? In the instances of Nikita Kast, Castaways, Anton Schwerik, and Mika Bagratin, I was unquestionably the primary factor. No, it's not true. It's not true. I will not. And I awoke to find myself back in my cell. Then I noticed something was strange. Something different about my cell. An unnatural stillness. It took an effort to focus at the moment. Then I saw what it was. My cell door was open. Just a crack. But it was open. It had always been closed and double locked each time I was returned to question it. But now it was open. Reason told me it was another way of torturing me. A trap. But I had to try. Cautiously, I stepped out into the broad corridor and moved past the line of cells. I could reach the bronze doors. The bronze doors. Outside. Escape. And then I was standing before the door to the office. It was too easy. They'd be waiting on the other side. They'd be there. Empty. No Golovin. Nobody. In the corner behind the desk stood a coat rack. On it hung an overcoat and a black hat. I took them, put them on, walked to the bronze doors. And I was outside. Except for a black limousine that stood across the parking area, the place was deserted. Nobody. My first thought was the embassy. If I can get to the embassy, I'm safe. I looked again at the limousine. An official car of the NVD.
Trying to be as casual as possible, I went over and looked in. The ignition keys were there. I got in quickly, just on the starter. I drove carefully, alive to the fact that the city had 1,000 eyes. It was early morning. A few cars were on the street. The commissars and sub-commissars, associate commissars and their assistants. Soviet officials and rolling to work on privileged wheels. Suddenly, the welcome sight of the embassy came into view. It loomed large and took shape as I approached. There was a car parked in front of the main embassy entrance. I pulled up behind it. I was about to set the handbrake when I saw something that turned my blood to water. Not 40 feet from me, leaning against the stone post of the entrance gate, was a man in an overcoat. He was absorbed with a small hand mirror in which he was examining his teeth, probing here and there with his forefinger. It was Inspector Golovin.
We will return to Escape in just a moment, but first, answering the call of the sick and the distressed at home and at the battlefield is the job of the Red Cross. This month, the Red Cross is asking for contributions to carry on this wonderful work for another year. Can we do less than answer the call ourselves? Give as much as you can to the American Red Cross. And now, back to Escape.
I slid down in my seat. Golovin didn't look up, but I knew he'd seen me and was just waiting. And I saw the bulge in his coat pocket. I had no chance against a pistol. I started the car and pulled out into the street. In the rearview mirror, I saw Golovin go to his car and start after me. I was in a panic. At the corner, I turned left and headed toward Red Square. I hoped that once there, I could cut across the square into one of the side streets and double back to the embassy. But about halfway across the square, I saw a car move out of a thin line of traffic in back of me. It was Golovin, and I had to abandon my plan for the moment. Then began a dodging game that took us through the west section of Moscow and into the industrial suburbs. Time after time, I was sure I'd lost it. But he would seemingly materialize out of nowhere and fasten himself onto me. It went on and on, until we neared the railroad yard. We were racing down a cobblestone street laced with tracks. Golovin was closing on me fast. He called my name as his car came alongside, then began forcing me off the road. There was only one way out. I whipped my fist to the right and skidded onto a bridge. I picked up speed in a wild town myself in open country with Golovin nowhere in sight. I had lost Golovin, for he had lost me. What difference? I had no chance of ever getting back to the embassy now. The MVD would be there waiting for me with a color guard. So I drove on. On the strength of an MVD identity card I found in the pocket of my overcoat, I obtained gasoline at a small town. And then a few miles from Smolensk, I had a nasty shot. It was a roadblock. Two trucks were placed squarely across the road 20 feet apart. Soldiers with Tommy guns stood in the light of flares, motioning me to stop. There was nothing to do but pull over. A soldier came over and flashed a light in the window.
Товарищ, добрый вечер.
Добрый вечер.
Извините, товарищ, покажите ваши бумаги. О, МВД. Идите. Извиняю, товарищ сержант. Что-то случилось с Демидов. Хотел проверить. Спокойной ночи.
Спокойной ночи. The soldier waved me on. The MVD identity card had done it. I drove steadily the rest of that night and all the next day. Late the following night, I reached the outskirts of Warsaw. The time had come to abandon the MVD car, but it served its purpose, for by now the entire secret police undoubtedly was alerted to watch for me. So I left it at the side of the road and started walking. In half an hour, I was at my destination, the apartment of an old friend. I was on the ragged edge,
needed rest.
What is it?
Hello, Maria.
Chicago.
May I come in?
Oh, Chicago, you are a ghost. Yes, come in.
I'm very tired.
Sit down here, my darling.
Oh, how good that feels.
I will make some tea for you. Such a surprise to see you, my Chicago. What has happened to you? Are you not in Moscow? No, of course you are not in Moscow. You are here. Why are you here, Chicago? Chicago? Chicago. Already you are sleeping. That is good. Let's sleep, my darling.
Morning.
Ah, Chicago. Finally you waked up. But it is not morning. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. How do you feel now? You sleep good.
Oh, it's heaven.
You going to stay awake now? I'll give you a cup of coffee.
You're an angel.
Never mind the angel talking. Here.
Thanks. First cup of coffee I've had in 2 months.
Now, you must tell me, Chicago, what has happened? Where do you come from? Where do you go?
Old Cotton-Eyed Joe.
Old which?
Your question. Where do you come from? Where do you go? Like old Cotton-Eyed Joe, an American folk song.
Oh.
Never mind. Sit down, I'll tell you.
Oh, I have missed you, Chicago. And when you came in last night, I was very happy.
You're still as beautiful as ever, Maria.
But I am wrong to talk this way to you. Everything was finished 2 years ago, and so it must remain.
I still think we were fools.
Now, forget. Now, you in a lot of trouble, eh?
Yeah, a lot.
You talk in your sleep.
What did I say?
I could not understand everything, but you kept on killing a man.
Golovin.
Golovin, that is the name. You must hate him to kill him so much.
Well, he gave me a lot of trouble.
Oh? What he looked like?
Oh, a small man, quite small.
Maybe a little fat?
Yeah.
Does he wear glasses?
I really talked to myself, didn't I?
No, but there is such a man outside in the street who looks like that.
What?
Wait. He's still there. Come, look, but be careful. Don't let him see you. Across the street, see? He is in there all day. He was there this morning.
He's an inspector for the MVD.
MVD? You are in a lot of trouble.
All I want is to get to Berlin.
Yes, you must leave Warsaw.
Can you help me?
I think so. I know someone.
Can he be trusted?
You know my brother, Bronislav?
He's with the communists.
I shall let you decide that when you meet him.
And remember to use the pistol only as a last resort. So, go over your cards again, and we shall see if you know them.
The personal identification card.
Talk.
Gasoline ration card.
Talk.
ID badge where I work.
Inspector for
State Fisher.
Talk.
Travel permit. And work record.
Good. Now we go.
Maria, I don't know how.
Not one word from you.
You saved my life, Maria. I'll never forget it.
So, give me a kiss now.
Come now, let us go.
Goodbye, my beautiful Chicago.
Goodbye. Bronislav led me down the stairs and out the back door to the alley where his car was parked. There was no sign of Golovin. A relief, to be sure, but still a surprise, since both of us half expected to see him. Maria's brother had done a first-class job arranging my escape.
from Warsaw to Berlin was a cruise. Clear sailing all the way. It was a lovely summer night when we arrived in Berlin. We drove as near to the line dividing the sectors as we could. I got out. There was a handshake between us, and Bronislav was gone. I started walking to the end of the street, the end of Soviet influence. 10 yards away, I rounded a corner and...
Good evening, Luttrell.
Golovin. The little man blocked my path so I couldn't get by. His hands were thrust deep in his pockets, a frightening smile on his face.
So now it is the end of the road for us, no, Luttrell? For a while, I thought this moment would never come to pass. But now it is all over.
As he spoke, he withdrew a small pistol from his pocket. He balanced it casually in his hand and continued talking. It was the end for me.
To think, Luttrell, that the whole adventure turned out exactly as I had planned. From the moment you left your cell till now, every move you made as I had planned. I showed you well the way, no?
So you're pleased with yourself, Golovin. Fine, but let's get this over with.
What? You do not understand, Luttrell. I allowed you to escape.
So you could shoot me at the end of the road. Quite the sadist, aren't you?
I allowed it so that I could make my own way here.
Well, don't play games, Golovin.
Games? No games. This entire thing was planned for my escape.
Your escape?
Mine. By following you, I could give the impression that I was only doing my duty by pursuing an escaped prisoner. A prisoner who, by chance, you understand, led me to here. You still do not believe me, do you?
I just don't follow, that's all.
Luttrell, in my country it is dead alive. Now it is even worse. Soon my colleagues would have seen the things I could no longer hide, and then would come the purge. My purge. I had to leave before that could happen. So now...
I find it kind of hard to swallow, I'll tell you that.
Here, take my gun. Take it. Now you believe? Come, my dear boy, we cannot stand here. Let us go across the road. You see, I need you to vouch for my story when I am questioned.
One thing, Golovin. What would you have done if you'd found that your colleagues were closing in on you?
I would have seized you immediately and taken you back to Lubyanka. You were never exactly what you would call safe, Mr. Luttrell. You were my insurance.
Yeah.
This is the American sector?
Mm-hmm. My territory now.
Oh, then we must seek the military police, and I give myself up.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they would like to have a talk with you.
So now, my dear boy...
Wait a minute, Golovin.
Wait? What did you do?
A lot of reasons. You figure them out. My knuckles hurt. They were bleeding. Golovin sat on the pavement looking stupid. I turned to go, and as I did, he took his hand from his mouth. His full lips hung slack, revealing his steel teeth bent grotesquely out of shape. I shuddered and went to find the military police.
Under the direction of Anthony Ellis, Escape has brought you The Man with the Steel Teeth by John Boehner, starring Harry Bartell. Featured in the cast were Jack Crucian, Charlotte Lawrence, Steve Roberts, and Paul Dubov. Editorial supervision is by John Meston, and the special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week...
You are 400 feet below the surface of the South Pacific. The heavy taste of chlorine gas souring your mouth. While somewhere up above you, searching through the night for you, is an enemy destroyer.
bent on sending the submarine and you to a murky death.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Richard Chand Lee's exciting story, Pressure. Tomorrow night on most of these same CBS radio stations, Lux Radio Theater presents Dennis Morgan and Virginia Mayo in the thrilling drama, This Woman is Dangerous. Also tomorrow evening, hear John Hodiak in Suspense's chilling production of The Mountain, a story well calculated to keep you in suspense. This is Roy Rowan speaking. And remember, you have a date with Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts every Monday evening on the CBS Radio Network.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy have just made an amazing discovery in an unexplored region of the planet Earth, and are now descending the mountain with their spaceship carrying a metal chest.
I'd like to open this chest right now. Maybe it'd explain the whole mystery. Look, we'll probably have to use an atomic torch. I just think if it hadn't been for that earthquake, the secret would have never been discovered. Just that. It'll be tricky getting around this overhang. If we drop this box, it'll go shooting down the mountain like... What's the matter? What's that? I don't know. Some of these tropical birds make some weird noises. Pat, look above us. The rock's getting waved. Oh, the rocket's another quake. We've got to get away from here fast. The whole top of the mountain's coming down on us.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Strange Voyager. Space Patrollers, this is the very last time we can offer you our sensational cosmic rocket launcher. Right, Hap?
Right. So if you haven't sent for yours yet, you better do it right now. Dan, you can float it or fly it. Smoking rockets, you sure can have a lot of fun with the Space Patrol Cosmic Rocket Launcher.
Here's what you get. A swell red and yellow plastic rocket and a neat snap-on scout car.
A stainless steel launching gun and a break-proof guide cord 33 feet long.
To fly it, you just press the trigger on the launching gun, and down the guide cord that rocket flies lightning fast. It hits its target and automatically releases the snap-on scout car.
To float it, you remove the rocket from the steel launching gun, detach the scout car, fill up a tub or basin with water, and send the rocket scooting over the surface.
And Space Patrollers, don't forget, there's a special place inside the scout car for secret messages. Now, you can set up a window-to-window communication system with a pal next door.
Jumping Jupiter, owning a cosmic rocket launcher means fun for you. Now, don't miss out. Remember, this is the last time we can tell you how to get one. Go ahead, Captain Two-Fells. Tell them how.
Just send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coins, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Strange Voyager. The city of Amazonia is known throughout the solar system as the largest spaceport on the South American continent. From the reclaimed forests, jungles, and plains of the vast Amazon Valley, food supplies pour into Amazonia for shipment all over the Earth and to other planets as well. A recent earthquake centering a few hundred miles from the city has caused damage to some outlying settlements and commercial installations. Commander Corey and Happy are in Amazonia, ostensibly to supervise relief operations, but chiefly to investigate a mysterious signal that has baffled communications experts. While Happy monitors the spacephone receiver, Buzz heads the Terra 5 toward the point where the last mysterious signal was heard. Below them, the lush forests have given way to dry, scraggly brush, clinging to the slopes of mountains.
We're close to the source now, Hap. It's somewhere in that range right ahead of us. The signal ought to be popping on pretty soon. Yeah, 14:35, just 25 and a half hours since the last signal. I've got the direct indicator all set. The instant the signal sounds, we'll pinpoint the transmitter. There's just a few seconds to go. It ought to be coming through now.
Are you sure you've got the exact frequency here?
Yes, sir. I've got the scanner on just in case.
Okay. For the last few days, that signal has given a 25-and-a-half-hour interval of 6 seconds.
Well, if somebody's stranded out here, maybe they'll see our ship and contact us.
It could be anywhere within a 50-square-mile area. Look at that peak over there to the left. See that raw scar on the side?
Yes, sir.
The earthquake must have caused a landslide there.
Yeah, it really shook things up out here.
There's a spaceship down there.
Maybe that's where the signal's been coming from. The ship must be stranded.
Whoever's down there must have been unable to send a regular distress call.
The signal was coupled from an automatic transmitter. Now it's cut out.
We'll land and investigate.
A moment later, Buzz lands the Terra 5 close to the other spaceship. He and Happy climb down the ladder and make their way toward the private cruiser.
It sure looks deserted, Commander. Well, this is an awful thought, but whoever was in that ship might have been trapped by the landslide.
I don't think so. If the ship had been here when the slide occurred, it would have been partly buried. The cruiser landed later.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll go aboard and look around. There's someone up on the mountainside.
Yeah, and he's coming toward us.
Ahoy there!
Commander, do you see who that is?
Yes, it's our talkative friend, Herbert Harrison, the fellow who works for Universal Biological.
Yeah, the guy who got on my ear back at the communications center. Of all the people to run into clear out here.
He's pretty excited. Look at him bound down that mountain.
He'll break his fool neck if he isn't careful.
Commander, I couldn't be happier to see anyone. This is amazing. How did you happen to come here?
We were on a routine search and saw your ship.
Horn and I were looking for biologicals. Horn is my pilot. We were landed here to get some soil samples, and we came across this thing up there.
Now, calm down, Harrison. What thing?
Oh, wait till you see it. It's in sort of a cave. Horn's out there now.
What's up there?
Oh, you won't believe it till you see it. Come on.
Oh, well, can't you tell us what it is, Mr. Harrison?
All I'm going to say is prepare yourself for the captain. Well, here we are, Horn.
Gives me the fidgets.
Oh, Commander Corey, this is Matt Horn. Matt, this is Cadet Happy.
How do you do? Now, what's this mystery?
Right there, just inside the cave.
Fucking rockets. There's a man in there.
Yes, and that's not all. He is alive.
Alive? In that closed cave?
Suspended animation.
But how did he get in there? How long has he been there?
Wait a minute, Happy. Harrison, how do you know he's alive?
Just read what it says on the side of the cave. See, it says in several languages. English, Spanish, German, Latin, French, and a lot of other ancient languages I can't read.
Warning. This man is living under suspended animation. He can be revived. Instructions are in the steel cylinder fastened to the case. What's this thing here?
But how long has he been in suspended animation? Look at his clothes. I've never seen anything like them.
His clothes look like the type worn in Europe and the Americas in the middle part of the 20th century.
The 20th century? Why, that's 1,000 years ago. You mean he... Well, but Commander, they didn't have suspended animation that long ago.
Looks like they did, Cadet. I've had a chance to read this whole fact. Somebody named Dr. Jarnigan put this fellow in here in the year 1954.
Why, then, that would make your guess correct, Commander, about the clothes, I mean.
Oh, if we can revive him.
Think what he could tell us about ancient history, about propeller-driven airplanes.
Harrison.
And all...
How did you happen to find this cave?
Lucky accident. Thorne and I saw this mountain from our ship. The quake damage and all. Just on the spur of the moment, I suggested we land and take some soil samples. For biologicals, you know. We're always looking for new cures for old diseases.
We have this general area on our schedule, so we figured this was as good a place as any.
Then Thorne saw the cave.
I see. Harrison, did you or Thorne see any electronics equipment or hear any signals?
No, sir.
After we swept down the mountain by the landslide and operated for a few days before it cut on.
Sure. We'll probably find it buried at the base of the mountain.
We'll worry about that later. The important thing right now is to get this man to a well-equipped medical center and revive him. If we can leave it,
Thorne and I will do anything to help, Commander.
Sure. Now, good. It'll take the four of us to move that case down the mountain to our ship. Harrison, you and Thorne take that end of the case. Pat and I'll take the front end.
Carefully, the four men carried their strange burden down the side of the mountain toward the spaceship. At last, the precarious journey is finished. And Buzz orders them to set the case down beside the chair of fire.
Set him down easy, man. Catch my breath and put him aboard the ship.
Well, Commander, I suppose you'll be taking this fellow to Amazonia, to the hospital there.
Well, that's the nearest place, but the paramedical center is much better equipped.
Huh? Oh, that box in the cave.
What's that?
A large chest of some kind back toward the rear of the cave. Didn't you see it? Come to think of it, I remember something back there. And even if it's not needed to revive this man, it might contain valuable information.
Now, let's get this man on the ship, and then we'll go back after that chest. All right, all together now.
Thorne, watch out, huh? Oh, my hand. What's the matter? Lizard had bit me on the hand. I tried to warn him, sir. The lizard was right there by the corner of the cave.
That's a poisonous variety, Thorne. We'll have to have that hand attended to right away. Tap you aboard the ship and get the first aid kit.
No, I'll be all right.
That bite could give you a lot of trouble. It'll take a minute to run a blood test, and we'll know how to treat it.
No, never mind. I'll be okay. Commander, I'll take care of it. After all, my firm manufactures miracle drugs. I'll see that Thorne's hand is taken care of. I have complete facilities aboard my ship.
Sure, Mr. Harrison will pick me up.
Of course. In my work, you know, I have to be prepared for poisonous insects, plants, reptiles, everything. Thorne has had worse accidents than this.
That's right, Commander.
I'll be okay.
All right, Harrison. You fix Thorne's hand. Pat and I'll go after the chest. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Nice work. As soon as we get out of sight, we'll load the case in our ship and blast off.
Wait. We've got to make sure no one will ever look for us or for our sleeping friends.
And then get rid of Corey and the cadet. Quick, tell the Baxter to use the disintegrator.
Don't be a fool, Thorne. I'll wait till they're on their way with the chest. Then I'll use the disintegrator to start a landslide.
And then it'll look like an accident.
Exactly. Now, get in our ship and free that hand of yours. I'll dispose of Corey, and no one will ever know about the secret in the case.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Hey, gang, I'm sure glad you tuned in today because this is positively, absolutely the last time I can tell you about the terrific Space Patrol Cosmic Rocket Launcher. And you're just in time, too, for the big Cosmic Rocket Race. Now, targets are all set up, and 3 of my Space Patrol pals are lined up behind the triggers of their new Cosmic Rocket Launcher. All 3 of them have been training mighty hard the last couple of weeks, and now they're going to see who's the quickest on the trigger of the stainless steel launching gun. All ready? On target. Blast off! Wow, Space Patrollers, you should have seen it. 3 rockets traveling down 3 guide cords hit the target and wham, automatically released the scout cars. And was it a close race? Say, here comes the winner. Let's ask him out. He got so fast on that launcher trigger.
Practice, Captain. He fell over and over. You know, the rocket and snap-on scout car are breakthrough plastic. You can shoot the rocket as often as you like. And the nylon launching cord, that's breakthrough, too. As for real trigger action, there's plenty of it. Packed right into that steel launching gun.
Yes, you bet there is. And Space Patrollers, you're in for plenty of action, too, when you get a cosmic rocket launcher of your very own. But you better hurry, because this is the very last time I can tell you how to get one. Yep, the last time on Space Patrol for the cosmic rocket launcher. So right away, today, send a rice check or wheat check, box top, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri, and hurry! And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Strange Voyager. An earthquake in the interior of the South American continent on the planet Earth has uncovered a secret cave. In the cave, Buzz and Happy have found a transparent plastic case containing a man who, according to an inscription, has been in suspended animation for 10 centuries. With the help of Herbert Harrison and Matt Thorne, who claim to be employees of a firm specializing in biologicals, Buzz and Happy carry the case down the mountain to their spaceship. Then the two space patrollers return to the cave to retrieve a metal chest. Right now, Buzz and Happy are working their way down the mountain with a heavy box, unaware that Harrison plans to cause a landslide with a disintegrator.
Watch your step. It's going to be tricky getting around this overhang. Yeah, if we drop this box, it'll go bouncing down the mountain like... Commander, what's that? I don't know. Some of these tropical birds make some weird noises, but... Matt, look up above us. The rock's giving way. Another quake. The whole top of the mountain's coming down and pressed back against this overhang. What if the rock doesn't hold? It's our only chance. Hold tight. Okay, huh? A miracle, yes. This overhang must be rooted in bedrock. Landslide passed completely over, down into the valley. If it wasn't for this shelf of rock, we'd be buried under tons of earth. Commander, the box. It's gone. Yes, sir. Down there in the landslide. When we get down the mountain to the ship, we'll call the Space Patrol unit from Amazonia to look for it. Come on, let's get off the mountain before there's another landslide.
Meantime, at the base of the mountain, Herbert Harrison clutches his disintegrator and peers intently at the swirling clouds of dust following the landslide. As the dust settles, Matt Thorne, Harrison's pilot, steps out of the private cruiser and walks toward the plastic case containing a man who's been sleeping for 1,000 years.
Thorne, where are you going? Chase into a ship. That can wait. Look. Corey, the cadet. Yes, they survived the landslide. Let's finish them off with a disintegrator. No, not now, you idiot. Do you want to spoil more than 1,000 years of planning? But here they come. Let them. It's our job to keep this mystery localized. Localized in this solar system until we can get away, understand? Yes, sure, I understand. Then take this disintegrator. Get it out of sight. I'll handle Corey. From now on, Plan 3 is in operation. All right. I've lost my head for a minute. Oh, Commander Corey, Cadet, you made it. Thorne and I have given you up for long.
The landslide passed over us. Well, how's Thorne's hand?
He's tweeting it now, Commander. Nothing to worry about. He'll be all right.
I appreciate your help, Harrison. Happy now I'll be able to handle things ourselves from here on.
But the man in the cave, can you manage?
Yes, sir. We'll get him aboard Terra 5 and blast off. Let's go.
Many hours later, in an operating room at the Terra Medical Center, Buzz, Happy, and Dr. Nathan Andross stand around the plastic case containing the figure of a man. Nearby is an open cylinder. The transparent plastic cover of the case has been removed. Buzz, Happy, and the doctor gaze intently at the placid features of a man who may have been sleeping for 1,000 years.
I followed the instructions in the cylinder, Commander. We should obtain results shortly, if we obtain them at all.
And you didn't need anything in the chest that got lost?
No, fortunately.
Dr. Andrew, the man's smiling. He is alive.
Yes, Cadet. The reviving procedure is amazingly similar to our present-day methods of terminating suspended animation. And according to Dr. Jonathan's message, his name is David Stern.
But who was this Dr. Jernigan? And how did Dr. Jernigan ever get him to agree to such a crazy idea like this?
Well, that's something we won't know until the man wakes up. Dr. Andross, when will that be?
The body temperature is nearly normal. The heart beat is increasing. The breathing is becoming deeper.
And there's nothing abnormal about it?
Well, no. Except for one thing. We have not been able to classify his blood.
And he has an entirely different type of blood?
So it seems. Of course, the obvious explanation is that his blood was radically changed by the process that put him to sleep for 1,000 years.
Oh, sure. Hey, he's coming to. His eyes are open.
Could be a terrific shock. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you. No, I'm not Dr. Jonathan.
You're in a hospital. We're carrying out Dr. Jonathan's instructions. Everything's all right.
Sure. What's the date?
When did you fall asleep?
I went to sleep in 1954. What year is it now?
We'll have a nice chat.
Okay. Break it to me easy. What century?
30.
I do feel sort of drowsy. I guess if you sleep in 1,000 years, it gets to be a habit. Nothing else. He's asleep again.
Particularly problem is that I awakened from one night's sleep. Maybe in the afternoon. When he wakes up again, Dr. Randolph, call me. I'll be in the superintendent's office.
In the secluded office in the administration section of the Terra Medical Center, Happy excitedly jots down questions to ask David Stern, the man who actually lived on Earth in the 20th century. Commander Corey, however, seems gravely troubled.
Something worrying you, Commander? Something about this Stern case that doesn't ring true. This Dr. Jonigan, for example. He made a discovery nearly 1,000 years ahead of his time. Yet none of our research experts can find any mention of a Dr. Jonigan in old 20th century medical records.
You kept all of his work a secret.
Impossible. Another thing. What happened to that space diplomacy? How did it happen that Harrison and Thorne were there before?
Well, they were looking for biologicals.
So they came. And I checked in those 2 men. Universal Biologicals has no one named Herbert Harrison or Matt Thorne working for them.
What? Then what's Harrison's game, anyway?
Yeah. But Harrison and Thorne aren't in South America hunting biologicals. They're right here in Florida.
And you think they were in Amazonia for the same reason we were, to find the source of that signal?
I think they found the transmitter and destroyed it.
What?
Yes, Dr. Randolph, what is it?
The Davis Cloud, yes, disappeared.
Disappeared? I thought you locked that room, Doctor.
I did lock it, but the lock has been destroyed. There's a big hole in the door where the lock was. I will order the entire hospital searched from top to bottom.
All right, Doctor, do that, but I don't think you'll find Stern here.
Where could he be?
I know 2 men who might be able to answer that question. Come on, Happy.
Box in the Terra Medical Center, in a small apartment, 2 men carefully go over every inch of the walls and furniture with a small instrument that projects an almost invisible cone of violet light. A third man sits and stares at them, a placid smile on his face.
Well, that's about does it. I've covered everything with the eradicator beam.
All right. Now, Stern, don't touch anything. Stern, do you hear me? Yes, I hear you.
Let's get to the spaceport.
Oh, sure. What's the matter with you? Don't you realize you're going home, back to Vega, after 1,000 years in the solar system?
That's probably what he's been dreaming about. Hey, Stern?
No, I was dreaming, but not about home. For 1,000 years I've dreamed. What wonderful dreams. There's nothing anywhere in any galaxy as beautiful as those dreams. We've got a job to do. When we get to Mars, we'll get aboard our star drive ship and head for Vega with all the information Thorne and I have gathered.
The United Planets won't know they're in danger until our task force hits them. What did that do?
Get Stern into the next room. Go on, Stern. No one must see you here. All right. I'll tell you about my dream later. Now, whoever it is, I'll do the talking. Yes? Well, it's Commander Corey, the physicist guy.
I figured it would be. You finished your search for biologicals very quickly, didn't you?
I was called back by the first.
I'd like to talk to you. Mind if I come in?
Come right in, both of you.
Thanks. Come on, Happy.
Yes, sir. Sit down, gentlemen.
Yeah, make yourselves at home. How's your hand, Thorne? Oh, just fine, thanks. And there's it. I'd like to take a look at it. Completely healed. Remarkable.
I told you we were well equipped to handle field emergencies.
I see. Well, Harrison, I thought you might like to know about the suspended animation case.
Oh, the man in the cave. I was going to ask about him. How is he?
He disappeared from the hospital. Before I came here, I thought you might help us find him.
Why, I'd like to help if I can, but searching for missing persons is a little out of my line.
What is your line, Harrison?
I told you. Biological. I'm field survey agent for university.
They never heard of you or of Thorne.
There must be some mistake. I've been with them for years.
What's in the next room?
It's just a back room, Commander.
And if I have a look? Come on, Happy. Stay right where you are, both of you. Get your hands up.
Better do as Thorne says. Your solar system blood guns are crude, but quite effective.
And David Stern is here.
Yes, but he won't be for long. Horn and I are taking him home after we dispose of you.
And just where is home? Some other solar system, I suppose.
You are right, Commander. Stern, Horn, and I are from the constellation you call Lyra. To be exact, from the planetary system of the star Vega.
What a rocket. From another star system.
Yes, Cadet. If you hadn't escaped the landslide, Horn and I could have taken Stern away, and no one would have ever known that spies from another solar system had been among you.
Well, then Stern hasn't been in suspended animation for 1,000 years.
Oh, yes, he has. But there never was a Dr. Jarnigan. Stern arrived on your planet Earth before your era of space travel. He lived among you, learned your ways, your weapons.
So your people could attack us, is that it?
Yes. In 1954, he was ready to turn to Vega. But this star drive wouldn't function, so he destroyed the ship and concealed himself in that mountain under suspended animation.
And why all this hocus-pocus about Dr. Jarnigan and hiding the instructions in the cylinder?
In case Stern was ever found, we wanted no one to suspect he came from another solar system.
What about the spacephone signal? Is that what brought you here from Vega?
No. Horn and I have been here for about 2 years. The earthquake in South America opened Stern's hiding place.
Harris and I were on Mars at the time. We picked it up and came here to get Stern. Then you destroyed the transmitter.
No, it was destroyed automatically when we were within a few yards of it. That was part of the original plan. There must be nothing to suggest that David Stern was not of the solar system. The transmitter, because of its unique design and strange materials, would have given away our secret.
And Happy and I are the only people in this system that know about the coming attack from Vega.
That is correct. In a moment, both of you will disappear, be disintegrated. Then when Stern and Horn and I arrive at Vega with our data, our task force will blast off to counter you.
When do they expect you?
They don't. Horn and I are one of 100,000 units scattered all over this galaxy. We are regarded as lost until we return.
Let's finish them off and get going.
All right, Horn. I'll get the disintegrators.
In the room, Stern.
Keep them covered, Horn. I'll be right back.
Get Harrison. Now handle Thorn.
Yes, sir. Drop that blaster, Thorn. Stern, get the disintegrator. Stern, do you hear me?
I'm here, Harrison.
Let them have it.
I'll take care of everything, Harrison.
Break loose, Thorn. Break loose so Stern can use the disintegrator. Let's go. Hurry, Stern. Let them have it.
Sure. Everybody, stay right where you are.
He got Thorn and Harrison.
Yes, Cadet. And this isn't a disintegrator. As you see, my friends are lying on the floor, asleep. Please don't try to attack me, or I'll be forced to use this on you.
Hold it, Hampton. Stern, what's that weapon you've got there?
Weapon? It's not a weapon. It's a blessing. If you only knew its effect, you'd beg me to use it on you.
It knocked out your pals, Harrison and Thorn.
They're asleep. Asleep the way you found me in the cave.
Why'd you turn it on them instead of us?
Because they're my friends. I want them to know the bliss of wonderful dreams. Everlasting dreams of beauty and peace. The dreams I enjoyed for 1,000 years.
And you don't want them to go back to Vega?
No. My people would only return here and bring war and pain and sorrow. The solar system is safe from invasion.
Pat, take that suit and let his hand be careful. Yes, sir.
In just a moment, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure brought to you by Nestle's Quick for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle's chocolate bars. Last call! Last call! Space Patrollers, this is absolutely the final time we'll ever be able to offer you the great cosmic rocket launcher. You've got to act fast. Now remember, included in this terrific offer are the breakproof plastic rocket, the stainless steel firing gun, the 33 feet of taut nylon cord, and the plastic scout car, which is launched automatically in midair. Yes, you get all of them, and here's what you do. Ask Mom to get the big brown and yellow can of Nestle's Quick, the product that makes the richest, most delicious chocolate milk in the universe. Then you send the special premium panel from the label, or the lid from the can of Quick, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And do it right away, because this is the last call. Last call. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are locked in an airtight chamber on Neptune's third moon by a criminal trying to force them to reveal Space Patrol's secrets.
Rorschach must be crazy. Just locking us up in here isn't going to make us talk. Listen. Hear that?
Yes, sir.
Sounds like some sort of a pump. You notice anything about the air in here?
Well, now that you mention it, it's sort of hard to breathe.
They're pumping the air out of the chamber.
We've only got two choices. Press the alarm button or suffocate.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Red Demon of Venus. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moses, starring Ed Cameron as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Dever. Other players were Bela Kovacs, Norman Jolly, and Jan Arban. Dick Shufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday for exciting action on Space Patrol. Space Patrol was brought to you today by Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.